Well, what a silly guy. He really tried on this stream. He was really trying. The worst thing about Destiny is just the cope, man. Just the total cope. Hasn't this lady proven she can't be trusted time after time when it comes to interpersonal relationships? Wow, you stink of it. You absolutely stink of it, don't you? Every single time, 10, 20 people saying her name. There was no outing the victim. The victim was outed. The victim was outed the moment that video was on Kiwi Farms. So I agree with you.
Where's the attempt to extort?
Well, that's what Sunday's believing. That's part of the narrative. That's part of the slandering that's being accused, right? Is that Sunday believed that Pixie was attempting to extort?
Yeah, the attempt to extort is him saying, here are DMs. I believe it is extortion because I talked to a lawyer, which he completely lied about. That is not true. He did not talk to any lawyer. President Sunday created the misinformation, Kelly.
I don't care about President
Okay,
Sunday.
well,
he was just quoting Destiny, okay?
Leave the call if you don't care. This is the conversation.
So, WillyMac is sort of the last commentary guy to weigh in on the Destiny stuff.
I want to preface this video.
He was on the Half-Baked podcast the other day, which is Turkey Tom and Nick Diorio and this guy called Lord Vega's podcast. We tried to watch it. I couldn't stomach it. It was just like they were hanging out and chatting about stuff, and it was just unbearable for someone like me to watch. Sure, plenty of people enjoyed it. I didn't. Just 'cause I can't get through like riffing between friends, content like that. It just sends a deep discomfort into me. I just hate seeing people get along. That's what I hate more than anything, is seeing people getting along. But Willy's released his full video now. He's released his full video here, where apparently he has reached out to Destiny. He has gotten first-hand comment from Destiny. So this is really the selling point here, is the fact that he's got first-hand testimony, statements from Destiny. So let's see, what is WillyMac going to think here? WillyMac, often sometimes known for veering from the accepted Nick Diorio take, having to be, you know, smacked back in line by Mr. Lips, by Don Oreos. Push back in line, back on script. Let's take a look.
I want to preface this video by stating that I was the only one that reached out to everyone involved in this story, and that the victims weren't just used by Destiny, but by YouTubers trying to frame themselves as heroes. One of them is still lying about what he did.
Oh my god. I reached out to everyone involved, bro. What is this idea that you have to reach out to everyone involved to make a YouTube video? I understand, yes, if you are claiming to be on someone's side, or claiming to, like, want to find the exact truth of exactly what happened, then yeah, you should probably reach out. If you have full evidence for something that happened online, you can see what happened, you have full evidence, as long as there's nothing that can be changed by a comment, then you don't really need to reach out. Especially not if you're not billing yourself as any kind of journalist. You know, I can totally get it for like a gamer's nexus. I understand the complaint about, well, like the raising of the complaint. Linus is a bit snaky with it. But the raising of the complaint, of the idea of right to reply, you know? That makes sense to me. But for just someone doing an expose YouTube video, I don't expect... No, there's nothing wrong with reaching... I'm not saying there's anything wrong with reaching out. WillyMac is bemoaning the fact that nobody else reached out. I don't think that's an expectation. That's not an expectation we have for YouTube videos. That's not a standard. Since when has that been a standard? You don't get it. William McDonald show regard is an IRL chill dude who doesn't get involved with all this heckin' terminal online stuff. So true. So true, so true.
Now, I'm not going to pretend that I personally care about the victims either. I don't know them. However, I do have the basic human decency to not try and sabotage them. I pride myself on doing a good job, and this video is finally up to those standards. So enjoy! Destiny is a political streamer that has framed himself as a moral authority. I've gone on his shows, cited his appearances often when covering the Red Pill. He's framed himself as someone who's fighting for respecting women.
I think there's an intention within DDG, from what I can tell, from what you say and what people say, to make women feel comfortable in the space. Is that correct?
there's an intention from me. There's probably an intention from part of my community.
He thinks teenagers should get dating advice from him rather than their own stupid parents.
Person comes up to you and starts saying some weird stuff.
This happened very publicly. This was very public. Like, this is the thing is, like, really, you gotta bring stuff up like this? You were cool with him when he was saying all this crazy shit.
You just sit there with this 13-year-old and then you start having conversations extended about them about dating?
Yeah, I have before. What do you mean? No, would I tell if a young person came up to me and they were asking me questions about some like boy problems or something? Yeah, I'd probably say, yeah, of course. What do you mean, I'm a 35-year-old man? Of course I'm gonna have better advice for them than some random high school person. Yeah, of course. If a 15-year-old girl came up to me and she's like, there's some weird shit going on with a boy in my high school, I'd say, oh no, don't talk to me, honey. Go ask another 15-year-old boy or ask your retarded fucking mom and dad who are gonna tell you to never talk to any boys ever. No, what the why would I not talk to a different person? Wait, what?
Yeah, Destiny has a long...
What do you mean Drake coded? This was about Drake. He was arguing with ABBA about Drake. He was saying basically that Drake was in the right for talking to teenagers, and that if he was reached out to by some teenager who was asking for advice on sex or dating, yeah, of course he's gonna talk.
Longer list of women he's had sexual interactions with that now hate him than any of these guys. Almost all of which have been labeled as crazy, unhinged psychos, liars.
Yeah, like, I can be a pretty cool motherfucker. And yeah, you know, me and Melina have problems, but I don't think I f***ed at all in this. I'm not running around screen sharing people's nudes, calling people ugly behind their backs while telling them I want to f*** them because they're like trying to go up in shows that I'm like a producer of.
But recent leaks showed Destiny sharing sex tapes of his past partners without their consent to a 19-year-old named Rose in an attempt to get laid. I can't help but wonder, was there any truth behind their stories?
Things that's been done to me without consent or anything. That has been my past 5 years.
Then there's the aspect of how these stories broke, coming from two YouTubers, President Sunday and Beckett, who never reached out to the victim, were never given permission to share any of this. Yet they did it anyway, confirming it's her in the leaks to the general public, framing her as a suicide baiter for saying she'd kill herself if her parents found out.
Pixie did the worst thing that someone in her position could do.
Okay. I'm gonna start getting slightly sick of the release without consent talking point. I think you do have to engage with the idea that at a certain point, like what the infinite rape machine is just like something you have to contend with. I understand fully, and for me, I don't know if this crossed the threshold for worthy of breaking a consent. But I'm sick of people just asserting it as like, well, you should never break a victim's consent and release this stuff. Well, no, we would all agree at a certain point it becomes justified. At a certain point, you need to tell people about the rape. You can't just let the infinite rape machine keep running forever. So if a guy is just raping a woman every single day and he pays her off and she's like, okay, fine, I won't tell anyone. At what point is it, does it kind of behoove you to say, oh, well, I don't care if these women are saying they're fine with it and don't want it going public. I have to say something. And so just asserting, well, you broke the consent, you're doing a bad thing. It's like, engage a little bit further than that, right? Engage a little bit more. That's why I wasn't like crazy fucking crusading about it, because I understand there's an argument here. So I don't like the fact that it was done. I wouldn't do it. But there's an argument here. And plus, yeah, the story is already out, but it's about the leaking of DMs and stuff like that, but whatever.
Rather than seek legal recourse or make a public statement denouncing the violation of her consent and dignity that these leaks represented,
she was literally doing both of those things.
She seems to have ultimately chosen to try and profit from the situation by extorting Destiny.
This guy didn't even try to understand the full story before making a video victim shaming her. While her parents certainly know now thanks to Sunday's journalism, if she dies, she dies, a risk he's totally willing to take on behalf of making his YouTube video. After Pixie was forced to go public, she would have...
Yeah, perfect time to play the clip, but he didn't. He didn't play the clip. If I was a psychopath.
Other women reached out saying they also had their nudes shared without their consent. One girl even claimed she filed a police report on Destiny for secretly recording them having sex, which if true is such a violation of another person's privacy. I genuinely hope he faces criminal consequences for it. This is not the first time this accusation has come up.
The way that Lauren keeps saying this is that like is implying that I'm like recording me people or recording me like sexual stuff or something like that. That's how she like implies it. When Lauren says it over and over again, that's what she's That's what she's referring to.
The response he gave on Reddit as well as in his stream come off as absurd, like he's the victim.
A lot of vulture culture streams tonight. A lot of clout hungry people that want.
Dude, God, he just looks. So... I think this stream, these two clips actually just like kill the image. You've got like the image of someone in your head before your opinion of them changed. You know, this just like kills the old image of Destiny to me. These two clips, man. They're just like so wretched to even look at.
Recording me people, or
like him sitting here explaining, recording people while he's having sex with them, while he's looking like fucking greasy and fucking his hair's all fucked up, his beard's all fucked up, like,
or recording me like sexual stuff or something like that. That's how she like implies it. When Lauren says it over and over again, that's what she's referring to.
The response he gave on Reddit as well as in his stream come off as absurd, like
and then this,
he's the victim.
A lot of vulture culture streams tonight. A lot of
just like the fucking look in his face. I don't know if it's a lighting or if there were filters or what. I'm not sure. The look on his face, the like meek attitude, is just so fucking annoying and upsetting.
Stream come off as absurd, like.
So this is not the guy who was super epic on the Kumite. You know, this is not the guy who was super epic and owning fucking retards on Killstream. No, it's not that guy.
That's what she's referring to.
The response he gave on Reddit as well as in his stream come off as absurd, like he's the victim.
A lot of vulture culture streams tonight. A lot of clout hungry people that wanted to spend 12 hours reacting to this are going to be very disappointed, and I'm sure they'll have their own conspiratorial reasons for why I'm saying what I am saying.
His friends have all disavowed him. His podcast host says he told his wife to leave him.
I'll say this also. I think Steven was a f***ing...
Your voice is messing up. Sounds fuzzy. Like fuzzy how?
Really shitty husband to Melina, okay? I'm coming out here saying it right now. I don't think Steve would deny it either, but it's not good. The way that he was. Like, I talked with Melina a lot of times, and she was crying and miserable and everything else, and Steve would say, what do you want me to say? I'm a selfish motherfucker. That's why I'm in the relationship that I'm in. He was like, you know, what should I do? Should I leave? And I'll tell you this, I never was like, I was never like, no, you should stay and make things out. I told her multiple times, like, listen, if you feel like this is an abusive relationship, get the f out of there immediately.
Acting like he's betrayed because nobody reached out to him.
I want to write up a list of all the people, actually, hold on. Because there were some people that messaged me to like figure out like what was actually...
You know this isn't true, by the way. There were people reach out.
Actually going on before they kind of decided to do all this like crazy public stuff about it. I just want to read off a list of those people. Hold on.
Sure, I reached out to myself.
Yeah, and that's all of them. That was a little bit shocking as well, but okay.
So I reached out confronting him, asking him pointed questions, and his answers were disappointing. So much so it made me wonder why he would want anyone to reach out at all. His enemies would use all of this to take victory laps on Destiny.
First of all, okay, I would say that I'm pretty confident that everyone who was featured in these videos also sent videos of them and other people as well. But nobody talks about that.
Okay. Classic, I just made up a no you defense, but that's cool.
Hassan is getting a W over the guy who was trying to get him banned for the past 3 months. Painful. Destiny would throw away all of his credibility because he wanted to goon. This is the sort of video I finish and I just want to shake my head in disappointment. I need Z-Biotic pre-alcohol to get through this. Rudy, we all have busy lives and we can't waste a day stuck inside sitting on the couch because we had a couple drinks the night before. Pre-alcohol is the first genetically engineered probiotic. It was designed by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. When you drink alcohol, it gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's the blame for your rough next day.
Wow. Thanks, Willie.
Video. For background information, all these leaks are coming from a 19-year-old girl named Rose is Coming.
That kind of shit is literally disgusting, that he would try to trap a little girl, and I don't want to be presumptuous. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry if this upsets you because you're 19, or I'm sorry if this upsets you because you're 22 or something, right? Or if you're some legal guy or whatever, you know, when you're 19, you're a little kid, okay? Now, if you're 22, a 19-year-old's not a kid to you, okay? I'm 29. A 19-year-old might as well be a 15-year-old to me. It's all the fucking same, dude.
Well, now he's 30.
It's just like a retarded thing to say anyway. The idea that a 19-year-old is the same as a 15-year-old. You're like actually just so retarded for even. This guy was like 27 or 28 at this point. 29? I don't know. It's like such a retarded thing to fucking say. A 19-year-old and a 15-year-old are basically, you're like, fuck you, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
36 and still talking to 19-year-olds. This Rose person would either get hacked or leak the videos herself. We still don't know for sure. And all of these people's most embarrassing moments are now cemented online. Now, it's worth noting that Destiny didn't share these images because he wanted to embarrass anyone. He was trying to goon with Rose.
Just because of some legal age of consent, whatever bullshit, I have about as much in common with like an 8.
I 100% believe he fucked an underage girl at some point. I don't think you can make claims like that off of arguments. Now, I will say he said a lot of stuff that if he was laying the groundwork to make his community okay with that sort of thing, it would make sense, you know?
18-year-old, 19-year-old freshman in school as I would a fucking sophomore in high school. Any type of inclination towards any of those people is really fucking weird.
I'm listening to clips of Destiny from last year defending himself from women saying that he's secretly recording them.
Lauren keeps like typing messages that make it sound like I'm secretly recording people having sex. That's what it sounds like.
And then, oh look, what am I seeing on Twitter? This girl named Sherry saying Destiny secretly recorded her and shared it with people. One of the leaked DMs is Destiny showing audio of a dude he hooked up with, saying this just ended with him finishing.
A 19-year-old has more in common with a 15-year-old than a 29-year-old does. I can only assume that you mean the type that a 19-year-old has more in common with a 15-year-old than they do with a 29-year-old. Because obviously a 19-year-old has more in common with a 15-year-old than a 29-year-old does, because 19 is between 15. So yeah, you would expect it to be closer to both of the other one relative to the one friend. Okay, whatever, man.
Again, audio's scuffed because my phone was in my pocket. It was in your pocket? Was it there because he didn't know you were recording? This guy did an entire arc arguing with red pillars on boundaries with his wife and how you should treat women. These videos were not shared with consent. One of the victims was Pixie, who heavily trusted Destiny. She described herself as extremely sexually and
You're cutting out. Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. How is that? Is that better or worse than it was before? How is that? What's the sound like? Is that fine?
Experienced and sheltered. I had multiple long conversations regarding consent and boundaries with Destiny. Has all of these conversations about consent and boundaries and then does this without consent. Amazing. The fact that Destiny didn't maliciously share these videos might matter legally. That will have to be determined, but it doesn't really matter for the victims, now does it? Their nudes are out there for their parents, employers, and friends to see. The leaks happened in November. By the end of December, Kiwi Farms, as well as many other creators, knew who the participants were. There were group chats talking about it. The most prominent victim in this story, Pixie, confronted Destiny about sharing her nudes without consent. I'm super sorry, there's literally zero excuses. In DMs, Aaron wrote to Destiny, you didn't leak it maliciously, you distributed it non-consensually. Yeah, I know, I have severely damaged her. Confirming yes, he did do this, making him come off like a complete fraud. He has hours of content telling people how to live their lives, that they have no moral standards. Meanwhile, he's going on trips to Israel with his friend Lonerbox, while pocketing nudes of a girl he was having a thing with. There's a video of Pixie's dad thanking Destiny for being a good friend.
First of all,
okay, dude, just this is random disconnected facts right now. Well, I'm not getting up. Okay.
Many thanks for being a friend to my daughter.
Yeah, no problem.
She doesn't have any friends.
That's not true. You're
No,
so
she has a
mean.
shit ton of friends.
Okay.
But she appreciates your friendship.
Cool.
And I appreciate that. that you are friends.
Thanks. Well, I try my best. I'm a friendly person, you know.
Bruh, this is painful to watch. Pixie is talking to Kyla here. They're friends, but Kyla has a conflict of interest. Her and her husband moved from Canada to work with Destiny. They uprooted their whole lives for this. Pixie emphasizes Steven has to face the consequences proportional to his actions. I want this to be the most expensive mistake of his life. I'm essentially asking him to punish himself in a way I don't think he will or agree with without the law getting involved. I don't have a dollar amount from the top of my head. It just has to be enough for the rest of his life. If he thinks of the word nude, he associates it with the
I will never forgive WillyMacShow for defending established titles. I also think the established titles thing was fucking retarded, not gonna lie. Sorry, but it's a retarded novelty gift. Do you think you actually, like, you're actually naming a star when you do that? Do you think when you adopt an animal at the zoo, you actually get the animal, it's your animal? It's just like it's the dumbest scandal. Anyone believe they own land in Scotland is gullible and stupid. Yeah, I agree with some of like the like it could be that some of the marketing was wrong, like being like, oh, you can officially call yourself a lord or whatever. Like maybe that's wrong to do, but it's like, who cares? I don't really care. Good. I hope the Chinese made loads of money off of it. They're an enterprising people. They're a very enterprising people.
The amount of money he lost. $1 million is a price that gets thrown around in later DMs, and upon reading that, me and a lot of other people initially laughed, but then I thought about it. If somebody leaked my nudes, I would want their head. I can't have that, so $1 million from a millionaire sounds fair enough. Kyla then starts to look like she's protecting Destiny in these messages. It wasn't clear to me before that this is what you wanted specifically. My understanding is it was more of a sense of rehabilitation. Now, this was only one leak. You know how many times he's probably shared these nudes and not gotten caught? But Kyla's like, Pixie, you don't understand. He's super sorry. In an interview Kyla gave Tom, it comes off as her looking out for Destiny.
Just to me, like, recording somebody and then without their knowledge and leaking it is like a full-on, like it's a pretty like sexually invasive crime. Leaking somebody's nudes, I think, is also really bad. To be clear, I think it is really bad. But the issue is that I think it's fundamentally just a more common issue that people do. It's definitely, in my experience, not the first time that somebody...
You didn't even count the $1 million thing, right? What do you get wrong there?
Protecting Destiny in these messages. It wasn't clear to me before that this is what you wanted specifically. My understanding is it was more of a sense of rehabilitation. Now, this was only one leak. You know how many times he's probably shared these nudes and not gotten caught? But Kyla's like, Pixie, you don't understand. He's super sorry. In an interview Kyla gave Tom, it comes off as her looking out for Destiny.
Just to me, like a full-on, like it's a pretty like sexually invasive crime. Leaking somebody's nudes, I think, is also really bad. To be clear, I think it is really bad. But the issue is that I think it's fundamentally just a more common issue that people do. It's definitely, in my experience, not the first time that somebody has like leaked nudes. I think it's not okay. Like when you hear about like guys like showing other guys like tits that some girls shunt her, like I think it's gross, and there's a reason I don't look at it.
I mean that's, you know, that's I agree it's less severe, but you know,
so
this isn't a bunch of high schoolers, right? This is a 35-year-old guy who's doing this.
Sure, but the law and morals are different, right?
Boys will be boys is a crazy statement coming from someone whose last video is about feminism. She's like, only if Destiny does the worst thing possible will it matter to me.
The way I'm getting painted here is like really, really far from the truth, and I don't really know why.
You look like Ghislaine Maxwell.
I know.
Brutal. She says that Steven showed accountability and a step-by-step plan on how he was going to correct all of this.
Basically, the moment that I saw like remorsefulness, accountability, and like a...
Dude, it's so funny as well. Like, think of how much Erudite and all these fucking losers have sucked off like fucking WillyMac and Turkey Tom videos and all this shit. Said how amazing all these guys are because they've been shitting on Hassan. I wonder how she feels about this video, about how this video is going. She was saying how, oh my god, WillyMac and Tom are just such amazing guys. They took Nick out to the bar. They took Nick out to the club. So funny, man.
Step-by-step plan of like how he was going to correct the issue. that's when I was like, okay, I can still work with this person because it's like the try and the accountability that matters to me.
What was his plan? Because all I saw was Destiny blaming his actions on being off of Vyvanse. Apparently, if he's off of his meds, he doesn't have to respect people's privacy. Interesting symptoms. I want to point out that Pixie stands by that Kyla was being a good friend despite how she comes off. It's worth acknowledging that. When this story hit the wider public, Destiny gave a statement on Reddit.
I don't think so. I actually don't think it's worth acknowledging that. I don't think Pixie's word on whether Erudite is looking out for her best interests is actually particularly valuable at all. But whatever.
Titled it Legal Arc Beginning in Mysterious Ways. Such wow. Which shows how unserious he is about this whole thing. Like, what if he gets criminally convicted? Will he label that his prison arc? He says he had no intention of these images or videos leaking, and that he hasn't spoken up for the following reasons. He was going to pursue litigation, most likely against the hacker and sites hosting the leaks, and that he didn't want to bring publicity to the material. 3. I've been trying to move on from covering drama content as
it's like, there's such a, the fact she even engaged with it at all, the way she engaged, it's just like, no, you're gross. You're gross. Fuck acknowledging that. You're gross. You don't have this person's best interest in mind. You are purely there for like crisis management.
it has had an increasingly negative impact on those in my life. You want to move on? Now that the drama's about you, it's not fun anymore. People always act like they're above covering drama when they become the subject matter. 4. One person involved has expressed suicidal thoughts in relation to the matter, and I did not want to exacerbate the situation by talking about it publicly. Now that's a nice sentiment, but it's already all out there. The real reason he's quiet is because it's going through litigation. I can't help but roll my eyes when I read parts of this. I increasingly felt uncomfortable by the language being used regarding to financial punishment and wanting to teach me a lesson, along with constant references to the precariousness of someone's mental health. You're being punished. It's not
okay, dude.
The precariousness of someone's mental health. You're being punished. It's not supposed to be comfortable. You know it's bad when the top comment is, I wish my streamer watched horse porn instead.
I want to f a woman as a horse.
I can't believe Destiny gave this guy a W. And his return stream wasn't any better, using the same song Dr. Disrespect came back with. Destiny's response isn't great. He's since banned all the alleged victims from his community. He's
glad shit like that is being used against him. Glad that's being used against him. Hate your gay, dumb, memeing bullshit. Fucking 36-year-old man trying to get out of fucking allegations of sexual misconduct by pulling up dumb internet memes. Fuck you. Fuck you, you gay millennial.
Said, bro, if I need to go on the sex offender list, I'm taking 20 other streamers with me. Okay, lol W. Who are these 20 other streamers? Is there a Google Drive where perverts on Twitch upload other people's nudes? I repeat, how long has this been going on for? How sorry could he be? Not very if he's been covering for 20 other streamers doing the same thing. But then I'm seeing Destiny's co-host Dan on one hand disavowing Destiny for what he did, and then on the other hand threatening acquaintances.
If you're one of my coworkers out there, and you're making your little bit of a strong statement about how much you condemn Destiny and everything else, you better not let me find you doing something else and signing some other bullshit off for someone else, or you know, being weak. Because if that's gonna be the case, either be all the way in or all the way out. Okay, that's all I'm gonna tell you. All these half in the door motherfuckers, too much of a pussy to do anything else. Like, I get it, fine. If you're a content creator, you rely on this for your fucking life, then fine. Then f off. Then say that Destiny's a pervert, all that type of shit, and go away forever. And that's what you should do, and f off permanently. Same front there, I will say that I think that Steve has changed a lot, especially over the last year, where he is not like that type of person anymore. You guys don't fucking you don't see it because you don't know who he is.
People don't want to hear about how much he's changed when this has all just happened.
But if you think that you're going to say a strong...
Oh, Dan really tried on this shit. I love Dan. We love Dan. We love Dan. Well, what a silly guy. He really tried on this stream. He was really trying. You gotta give him props, okay, guys? You gotta give credit where it's due. He really tried. You gotta give credit where it's due. He really tried, okay? He gave it his best.
Permanently. Same front there, I will say that I think that Steve has changed a lot, especially over the last year, where he is not like that type of person anymore. You guys don't fucking you don't see it because you don't know who he is.
People don't want to hear about how much he's changed when this has all just happened.
But if you think that you're going to say a strong statement, say that you're not fucking with him right now, and come back in 2 months, you is what I have to say. You're worse than anyone. You're definitely worse than me. At least I'm honest about the situation. I've known the dude for 15 years. I can say that what he did was fucked up. He knows what he did was fucked up. He knows that he has to change, and he knows he's gonna have fucking consequences for it. But for fucking you, you're just a fucking weasel. All these motherfuckers that did this whole shit, all the way in, all the way out. Any of these motherfuckers try to come back in after they've done their little strong weasel statement doing it, that noise.
How do you know he's changed, Dan? Did you know he was doing this? It's such an odd statement. How is Dan playing both sides this hard? So unless you stand by Destiny, you can't ever engage with him again. It's about to be a very lonely career. Abba called out Destiny, pointing out that this was always where his lifestyle was going to lead, and says that he has no respect for anyone he's intimate with.
I think that people look at some of the standard markers for trouble and they, for some reason, project a ton of stuff onto me, but I think I'm living like one of the healthiest, fullest lives that I possibly could be.
You know, constantly having poor relationships with women over a long period of time, or in other situations, STDs, different things like that. Eventually that hedonism comes back to bite them in the life, and they also recognize they could have been investing that time a lot better.
Right?
No, shut up, Melina, shut up, let him talk. What do you mean, constantly?
The worst thing about Destiny is just the cope, man. Just the total cope. One of the healthiest, coolest lives I possibly could. Like, don't get me wrong, I like my life as like a retarded hermit streamer. I enjoy that, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend it's healthy. You know, there's plenty of things that you can enjoy something about your life without just pretending it's the whole way purely good. Just like you're never doing anything wrong. Like, no, you kind of live like a freak degenerate who is probably hurting people. That's you. I mean, you can say that, you can just admit that and say, listen, I mean, I'm not doing anything illegal and nothing's going to stop me, so fuck it. But he was doing stuff illegal. Anyway, regardless, you get my point. You get my point. You can just own it and say, yeah, I live my life like a retard, but I mean, this is how I want to live my life, so kind of fuck you. Just say that. Why do that? Actually, my exceedingly complicated polyamorous open relationship where I fly out 3 girls a week and have to have a constant rotation of like fucking 20 girls I'm plowing through every week is actually totally normal, actually. My constant grinder blowjobs, constant grinder hookup blowjobs, it's actually very normal. It's actually very normal behavior. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Anything you do in life,
becoming gay at age 30 and then sucking dick weekly, this is not like, it's not common. It's not common.
It's going to increase like your ability to like have fun or do like crazy stuff or whatever. It's always going to carry with it like the risk of death, right?
Absolutely.
Like you have no chance of dying by falling out of a plane unless you go skydiving, but that's not an argument against never skydiving.
But it is an argument against maybe skydiving 1,000 times if you don't want to die that way.
Well, if you want to skydive 1,000 times, then you can skydive 1,000 times. Like what's wrong? Damn, what happened to all the self-empowerment shit that you guys were talking about earlier? If your lifestyle choices are like, damn, I would never want to deal with like a crazy girl or anything like that, that's totally valid. I think that's totally fine. I accept that that's probably true for most people. But like, I'm okay with the trade-off on that for like all the benefits that I get. I like f***ing a lot of people. I like traveling a lot. I like doing drugs. I like my stream shit. That's like super fun for me. To be like, well, doesn't bad stuff happen sometimes so you shouldn't do it? That doesn't compute to me.
Or others, because I think the main thing with this is you have to think about the activity. The activity involves hurting others. Like even Destiny, as good as he is at what he does, probably could admit he's broken a lot of hearts. He's disappointed a lot of women. He's made a lot of people upset. It's not just how he feels about it. When you involve other people in this kind of pursuit of pleasure, other people get hurt as well. I'll stand by what I said at the beginning. I don't feel bad for Steven whatsoever because he knew what he was getting into. He was brazen about it. When he was warned, when he said, hey, this is a bad idea, this is a bad lifestyle, he said, I don't care, I want to have fun. It's fun for me. That's why I like these mentally ill women.
He's had this public view for years. But no, guys, Dan and Kylo says he's changed in the past month.
If you're currently hanging out with like a streamer that does like denial all day, every day, or that has someone on a DUI or something along those lines, like it's gonna be once we find that out, I think that's like gonna be kind of a rough one to be like why you threw someone under the bus just for clout.
Such a weird threat to throw out there to try and keep people in line. Well, I've hung out with a person who got a DUI, Dan. What are you gonna do about it? So I reached out to Destiny for some clarification. There's no point in even reading them to you because he copy and pasted the same response. If you're currently hanging out with a person who got a DUI, what are you gonna do about it? So I reached out to Destiny for some clarification. There's no point in even reading them to you because he copy and pasted the same response. If you're currently hanging out with a person who got a DUI, Dan, what are you gonna do about it? So I reached out to Destiny for some clarification. There's no point in even reading them to you because he copy and pasted the same response. If you're currently hanging out with a person who got a DUI, Dan, what are you gonna do about it? So I reached out to Destiny for some clarification. There's no point in even reading them to you because he copy and pasted the same response. If you're currently hanging out with a person who got a DUI, Dan, what are you gonna do about it? So I reached out to Destiny for some clarification. There's no point in even read clarification. There's no point in even reading them to you because he copy and pasted the same response.
Yeah, I've heard, I saw that shit that LS got robbed. Yeah, we might look at that at some point, I don't know.
In line. Well, I've hung out with a person who got a DUI, Dan. What are you gonna do about it? So I reached out to Destiny for some clarification. There's no point in even reading them to you because he copy and pasted the same response to every question, that he doesn't want to comment farther until he's past litigation. He clarifies, I'm aware that these answers are super
I'm aware these answers are super unsatisfying. It sucks that it looks super guilty for me to respond in this way, even this might be saying too much. But here is what I have to consider, with advice from my legal counsel going forward. Any statement that I make could become part of a record for any court case for any number of things that are foreseen and unforeseen to me right now. There is a possibility that I say something that feels true, but ends up being true in a way that could hurt me in the future.
Dan is a weasel like all leftists.
Thank you. I don't think Dan's a leftist, but thank you. Actually, on that note, guys, now is a great time to chill. Halfway through the WillyMac video, great time to chill. Guys, we have almost 700 people here right now, but only 70 likes on the stream. Meaning that only 10% of the people watching right now have liked. Isn't that correct? That's crazy. That's fucking crazy. 90% of you have not done the bare minimum of moving your cursor to the thumbs up and clicking it, or pressing the thumbs up on your mobile device, either of which is hugely appreciated. Now, if you want to take your support one step further and make sure more epic, hateful, creepy, loser content is being made, okay, make sure you go to the Stream Elements link in the pinned chat message where you can donate directly. YouTube take no cut. YouTube do not take a cut of Stream Elements. We love Stream Elements for that reason. However, I understand many people prefer the convenience of a YouTube donation. So, to give money through YouTube, you can buy a membership, okay? That'll be a recurring membership that builds up a baseline of income on the channel every month. We love that. We love a baseline of income that comes in every month. Now, you can also, if you've already got a membership, you can gift a membership. You can gift 1, 5, 10, 20, 50, all sorts of memberships. It's very epic. We love memberships, okay? We love gifted memberships, create hype moments in chat. We love it. You can also buy a super sticker, which is a YouTube image or GIF that'll be highlighted in chat, and I'll describe it to you. Or you can buy a super chat, which will be a message that's highlighted in chat. And if it's over $5, it'll be read out on TTS, okay? So go to discord.gg/Kuihman, twitter.com/Kuihman, or reddit.com/r/Kuihman. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Commodore Chomp, for the $5. Thank you, huge appreciated. Thank you for the membership queue. Thank you.
unsatisfying, and it sucks it looks super guilty for me to respond this way. And even this might be saying too much, but any statement that I make could become part of a record for any court case, for any number of things that are foreseen and unforeseen to me right now. And there's a possibility that I say something that feels true, but ends up not being true in the future. He then gives an example on how seemingly throwaway comments can lead to big consequences in court. He's right, because honestly, what is he supposed to do? Incriminate himself? He's going to let the legal process play out. So I asked Destiny if there was any false narrative.
Well, yeah, if you've done something wrong, you should be honest and forthcoming about it and admit to your wrongdoing and face consequences. Yeah, that is actually what you should do. Yeah. Like, why is this controversial all of a sudden? What is this retarded talking point that, oh, if you're facing legal issues, just shut up? Well, yeah, I agree. If you're trying to avoid accountability, or if you're trying to get out of something, or if you're simply trying not to go down for something that you didn't do, if you're trying to avoid incriminating yourself in ways where you'll be unfairly treated, of course. But morally, if you've done something wrong, you should be honest and forthcoming and face any consequences for it. Yeah. That's how morality works, generally. That's to most people. It's why I don't understand how it's even a talking point. How it's an argument.
Narratives being pushed, and if there was anything he wanted me to say that wasn't already public, he replied with people validating prior individuals who are insane despite there being no evidence to validate them is crazy conspiratorial nonsense. I assume he's talking about Mr. Girl's document where he lists every girl who has ever had a problem with Destiny. Destiny continues, there's obviously multiple affected parties, but it's rich that all of these people who cry about cancel culture and innocent until proven guilty have no problems making the most insane assumptions about a man and have no problem engaging with people who are insanely toxic when it comes to male victims of any kind of weird sexual actual shit. He'd defend himself a bit more on Twitter against Nick, saying, I didn't admit to anything. Meanwhile, you can just read the messages where Destiny says, yeah, I know. I've damaged her severely. Nobody cares about you being the victim because you caused all of this. There is no expectation for Kiwi Farms being the good guy. They have the leaks because you—
I'm gonna watch the Human Pog drama. I'm gonna cover the Smash JT stuff. I'm excited for the Smash JT stuff.
You shared them with Rose. He goes on to say that people named Lav and Kelly Jean have been distributing his nudes, revenge porn in the literal truest sense. How many—
Okay. Kelly Jean contests this.
I saw this coming a million.
No, not this fat bit. Just for reference, I never made a Discord with Lav. I was never in Lav's Discord. I don't know who was. And Lav was banned from my Discord. My Discord was never made to leak tapes. And there's no evidence of that. Destiny also never spoke to me about this. Kelly Jean literally created a fucking Discord server when they heard a video of mine leaked months ago. Lav was fiending trying to get a hold of that video. Or shopping around, pictures of my dick to people. And begging to get a hold of it so she could distribute it to people. This is revenge porn in the literal truest sense of the word. Well, there was a noble voice and it's incredibly disgusting. Okay, Kelly seemed eager to talk about this. Got to that part. Did you want to jump on? Yeah, I've never heard this before. I'm in Kelly Jean's Discord server. I will say this. I never heard about any of this. This was never the reason that I understood for the I'm just gonna give her palms in my chat in my server. Hi, Kelly.
Hello.
Hi. So,
Yeah.
is this just made up, just entirely?
It is completely made up, and he made it up about 2 weeks ago. He wrote this in DGG chat for like the first time ever, and everyone was like, what the fuck? Where did he get this from? The only thing he did say, he did mention somebody else's name directly after that, so I don't know if he got like confused with some like false rumor from someone else. But the fact that he's still spreading it after he's being corrected on it as well is really weird, and I think it seems pretty intentional. He's just trying to like group me in with Lav. Also, I don't really know what Lav has done, so I don't want to like throw Lav under the bus because he could be saying a bunch of shit about her. I don't know because I wasn't in her fucking Discord.
So, why and when was your Discord made?
I made the Discord after I left Jisticle's Discord.
What was that about?
After
Around
we,
the
like, fell
cherry
out.
stuff, or?
Yeah, it was like that time, so it was like June-ish of last year.
Okay.
But I might have made the Discord a bit later. I'd have to check. But it wasn't anything to do with me making the Discord because Destiny had a sex tape leak.
I'm
pretty sure that happened
the tape
ages
or
ago.
the Nico Sam edit of the tape, did any of that get posted in the Discord, or?
No. The only thing that did get posted in my Discord is when the new set of leaks happened. Annie posted one of the newer leaks, but no one posted the Nico Sam stuff in my Discord.
I assume, was that moderated, or?
Yeah, it got deleted. Obviously, I don't want to look at that. That's nasty. Gross.
Fair enough. I haven't. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about? Because I had another question on something not entirely related. So.
Oh no, go for it if you want.
So I heard. So a few weeks ago, I put forward this idea that Destiny might have turned on you after being turned down, and then apparently there's been this story going around of him asking to rub your feet or something. What? I haven't actually heard this. But what's all this about?
So I didn't realize it was anything sexual at the time because it was like it wasn't a sexual situation, and I didn't know he was into feet. So I was like, I don't really want to do that because like I have nerve damage and I have like a thing with my peripheries. They just hurt all of the time, and I had been talking about that at that time. I also had an issue with like wearing headphones and stuff, and I'd mentioned that to him when I was just yapping about shit. But he was also like really jet lagged, So I just put down the weird interaction, just to him being like loopy from jet lag, and I was like, whatever.
What's the setting? He gets off of a plane or something, assumedly, and then you meet at like a hotel.
Yeah, we met. We had dinner at like, because this is like Stratford, and I was making jokes because why the fuck did Pearl put him up in Stratford? Did she want him to get stabbed type thing? Because I thought that was quite funny. Because she's really central East London, so Stratford didn't make sense. So we went for dinner. It was on like in like the Westfield in Stratford.
Yeah.
And then we went back to his hotel for a bit. That's the same night that I left him like the little bottle of Vyvanse or Elvance in the UK, which he threw away, quotations apparently, and he never actually tried. But like there wasn't any like sexual conversation. It was just, and I wouldn't have even thought about it if I didn't then find out later that he liked feet. Right, it just didn't even occur.
Well, how does I just don't understand. So he gets off the plane. You meet in Westfield. You have dinner. Then what? You go back to a hotel room and he's what? He's like half passed out and just like asking to touch your feet, or like what's happening?
He was like half laying on his bed, basically being like loopy from jet lag. He was like, "Oh, can I rub your feet?" It was like that. It wasn't very deep, I'm gonna be honest.
Okay. And so what, you reject, you're like, no, I've got nerve damage, that sounds weird.
Yeah, this
and then,
is
what, he
just
falls
hurts.
asleep.
Yeah.
Is that?
He actually does fall asleep and I just leave.
That's
a bit later on.
Okay.
Because like he was, to be fair, he was obviously jet lagged. I don't think that was like that was fake.
Got you. Okay. Wow. Well, good to hear that story.
Yeah, it wasn't very exciting, which is why I've never really spoke about it before. The only reason it came up was because I think it was like there was a conversation with somebody else.
Oh, I find it very interesting. I was.
Do you find it interesting?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I'm sure the stream did too.
I think it's weird that he didn't tell some girls that he had a foot fetish. That stuff was weird. Like,
well, he didn't tell Melina and he told Sushia.
Yeah.
That's the crazy one to me. It's like you were with this woman for ages and you didn't tell her about your foot fetish, and then she's finding out.
Yeah, he didn't tell Melina. But then he got angry at Sushia and at Lav for exposing it, I guess. Like she said that he got mad at her. And I was like, why? Of all of his weird fetishes, that has to be like one of the milder ones, isn't it? It's like I'd rather have a foot fetish than an underage babysitter fetish.
Okay, I don't know that was the fetish, but sure. Okay. I don't think it was about having an underage babysitter. I think it was about being an
underage child and
having a babysitter. Yeah.
Yeah, although I will point out a lot of babysitters are, but yeah, it's weird.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Kelly. Thanks for
okay.
refuting those allegations.
Yes, I never shared his sex tapes around, you freak. Stop being defamatory towards me. I don't want to see that shit, and I definitely haven't been sharing it around, so gross.
All right.
Shut the fuck up.
Well,
all right, bye.
Catch you later. Wow, guys. Hasn't this lady proven she can't be trusted time after time when it comes to interpersonal relationships? Wow, you stink of it. You absolutely stink of it, don't you? You reek of it. I can smell it on you. If she has been proven to be untrustworthy, then surely there is some evidence pointing in the opposite direction. Okay, if you're going to accuse someone of making a server to share around revenge porn, you should probably have some evidence that they made a server to share around revenge porn. You should probably back up. You probably can't rely on the fact that, oh, well, this person can't be trusted, and Destiny can, I guess, for some fucking reason. Anyway, back into the content.
Crazy women are part of this guy's life. At what point can I victim blame him? Ryan Beard's telling a story about how some girl named Anna is stalking you, and your solution was to sext her.
He did stalk me.
That she locked. Okay, then why are you sexting with her still?
We're cool. We've been cool for a year, Max.
Okay, so you acknowledge that you've been.
Dude, this was so crazy. Dude, this stream was just so crazy. It's so fucked up. It's like watching just like the timeline go wrong. Yeah, Max should have won.
Solution was to sext her.
He did stalk me.
That she locked. Okay, then why?
He had it here. He had it. He had the stake over Destiny's heart right here.
Texting with her still.
We're cool. We've been cool for a year, Max.
Okay, so you acknowledge that you've been sexting with her for a year.
Yeah, we've had on and off, sure. Max, can you acknowledge that I haven't said anything bad about her for a year? I've said we've been fine. I've said that over.
The last time I talked to you about her, like 2 weeks ago or 16 days ago or something, you said that she locked you in the basement of her mind and it was a traumatic experience for you. Locked you in the basement
me
of her
in
mind.
the past. In the past, Max.
Oh, okay.
Why? Tell me, Max. Why hasn't Anna come forward with any of this information now? Can you tell me, or do you want me to tell everybody why?
I don't want to speak on her behalf.
Okay, I will. It's because she said she literally wants to remain friends with me.
He had his whole community feeling bad for him being...
Wow, that makes it all better then. Wow, that makes it all better then. If the woman wants to maintain a relationship with you, then there's absolutely no way you could have done anything wrong. Whoa, my mind is fucking blown. Wow. Wow, Destiny Consent Master. My mind is blown. It all makes sense now. It's all fine now.
Stalked as he was doing this. There are parts of streams where he's condemning people for sharing nudes non-consensually.
Yeah, you know, me and Melina have problems, but I don't think I f***ed up at all in this. I'm not running around screen sharing people's nudes.
Bro, this shows that he knows this was bad. He was using this to expose someone. The embarrassing part about this drama isn't that a video leaked of Destiny sucking an Oscar Mayer, it's that he's thrown away his credibility. He comes off like a fraud. We did speak in an off-the-record voice call. It was not recorded, and he was giving off the vibe that things might not be what they seem, but because of litigation, I couldn't know what he was referring to. I certainly couldn't just blindly believe him. You look at his social media and he's memeing about the whole thing, posting himself dressed as Dr. Disrespect. Yeah, Dan and Kylo, you're right. Destiny's totally rehabilitated and remorseful over this whole thing. It's very obvious. So is Destiny's career over because of this? Well, if Tim Pool can frame himself as a patriot while secretly taking Russian money, Vosh can say Lolly makes you a pedo while having a folder full of Lolly, Hassan can frame himself as more credible than the media while reporting every story wrong, and Tyler Oliveira can pretend to be a journalist while just making up stories on the spot, then why wouldn't Destiny recover from this? Let's be honest, the real punishment is Hassan will bring this up every chance he gets.
I can't believe that there are still Destiny fans in here. He kind of made you though. Why you so ungrateful he brought you in? No. Why not just talk it out, bro? He was your friend at one point. Dude, I don't know if you understand. We're having a conversation about this dude's...
Yeah, this goes for many different topics, by the way. We need to stop pretending that people's careers are ever over because they've done something bad. It never happens. No matter how bad the thing you did was, never ends the career. You can always come back. Just keep posting. The idea that it's like if you say something that fucking, you know, like if you make a fucking joke about someone being a pedophile, when people take that giga seriously and they're like, oh, well, that's, you know, you shouldn't throw around the word pedophile. That could ruin someone's career. No, it can't. Making a joke about someone being a pedophile, whose career is that ruined? Whose career is that ruined ever? Name one. Name one.
Serially making sex tapes of the people he sometimes consensually and sometimes non-consensually records and is unconsensually sending to other people that he wants to...
EDP can't return because EDP is banned. If EDP was not banned from YouTube, it does not matter how many kids he rapes. If he posts a funny video, it will get views. That is just, that's the way the... You might not like it, but that's the way the world is.
And you're like, why don't you become friends with that guy again? I don't know, because he's gross.
And Hassan is totally right. You know how hard that is to say? Again, if you're a left-leaning political viewer, your options are cooked. But seriously, it seems like if you have a political audience, you could get away with anything. You have Joe Biden's millionaire drug-fueled son getting pardoned after he said he wouldn't do it, and Donald Trump, our current sitting president, was part of an electoral scheme. But no, this is when political audiences finally take a stand.
An electoral scheme. What does that mean, WillyMac? An electoral... Is that really the phrasing? An attempt to steal the election, I think is what you mean. Electoral scheme. What does that mean, WillyMac? Electoral scheme.
Was part of an electoral scheme, but no, this is when political audiences finally take a stand. Sure, these audiences will excuse everything because they think the ends justifies the means. Hearing Lonerbox lay out his 2025 aspirations is hilarious until you realize how true it is.
I look forward to some time coming back when I can like brand myself as the only remaining political streamer who doesn't have like, doesn't have sex scandals and doesn't support terrorists. For some reason, it's always one or the other.
They're very musical people.
Are you being serious?
Dog, what do you look? You think I made this?
This isn't music. I know they're singing, but I'm seeing just guns and shoot. This isn't a music video, Hassan.
Why is Steven here? They do musicals about like their actions all the time.
Yeah, they're militarized action.
When I looked at it, I think the vibe that I got was like short stack, thick kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like the way like goblins get drawn in porn.
The fuck?
Niggas press their luck in, they get a butt fucking straight up the ass raw.
Oh boy, it's obligatory crying about Sunday section. Let's see. I won't write it off immediately. I'm willing to hear it out.
Destiny was objectively wrong for this and deserves all of the backlash. I think it's important to acknowledge that the people who exposed this story were not looking out for the victims at all. In fact, they were actively working against their best interests.
Destiny is like George Washington. Sure, he had slaves, but he was the only one who could save democracy.
Thank you for the $5 Ziploc baggies. Thank you. Huge appreciated.
It was President Sunday and Beckett. Neither of these people had direct contact with Destiny, Kyla, Pixie, or anyone else involved in this story. They never even tried to reach out, yet they were the ones who posted videos outing the whole thing. The only information they have comes from Aaron leaking all of Pixie's messages. They are only working with secondhand information. In Sunday's video, he says,
okay, I don't like the term outing with no explanation, because it implies that this wasn't public in any way. But it was. The screenshots were obviously leaked by Sunday and Beckett, yes. That's true. But you could, from public information, line up that it was Pixie there in this video, and then you could look at her other behavior online and reasonably interpret, ooh, this doesn't seem like it was consensual, but I don't know. That's where you could probably get to, based on the public stuff. And then they leak the confirmation. So I don't like the presentation of it constantly as just, they outed the story. It's not just, they didn't just out the story. Like, 60% of the story was already out. And then they filled in, like, about, we'll say 30% of it, and then there's just 10% that's still left sort of floating, right?
Pixie's silence was bought in exchange for Destiny paying for her law school, leaving all the other victims out to dry.
Pixie has since said nothing publicly. There has been no evidence of legal proceedings being pursued, and she has seemingly ceased communications with the people she was previously working with, instead posting on X about taking the LSAT in pursuit of law school. It appears as though her attempt to extort Destiny has probably paid off, albeit at the expense of every other person Destiny has victimized in the past and will victimize in the future.
Okay, Sunday probably should get raped across the coals for this just like retarded speculations video, though. This is absolutely fair to...
His evidence for this is a single tweet of her saying she took the LSAT, as if you could just sign up and pass this test within a month. So at this point, my mind was blown that someone would out a victim for a 100K view video while the victim was still discussing their options, and then determined their silence was bought over a tweet. No need to confirm anything. So I reached out to Pixie to try and confirm if she ever talked to Sunday or Beckett about this. Pixie has pursued litigation against Destiny. However, she did let Lonerbox, who she's dating, provide some details.
Did President Sunday reach out to Pixie one time to see if he could go live with this video, or to confirm that the draft was canceled or anything like that?
No, he didn't.
It is so incredibly selfish of Sunday and Beckett to insert themselves into a situation where they take agency away from Pixie. Because one, she's pursuing legal action, and you guys making this public gives Destiny ample time to delete evidence, while Pixie's team was still building their case. I know I look smart enough to come up with that point myself. I'm not, so take that how you will. 4 days before Sunday released his video, he had a conversation with Nick acknowledging that Pixie was suicidal.
So, I mean, that's like fine. I kind of agree. It's just a tricky situation. Because you could be, yeah, on one hand, you could be giving, so here's the thing, right? Okay. How do I format this in my mind? I'm like so close to pulling up Paint and doing like the full Skinwalker thing. Pepsi's doing Paint, so I think I can. Do I need Paint, or can I think this through? Or can I just use have I got my notebook? Because here's the thing, okay. I think I can just think through this. I think I just think through it. Okay? It's not open. It's not open. It's not -5. It's not -5. It's not open. Nothing's open. Nothing's open. It's not -5. It didn't happen. So you can't call it. You can't call it if it doesn't happen. Okay. Sunday and Beckett are in a situation where they don't know if Pixie's silence has been bought. Now, even if Pixie's silence has not been bought, she is still deeply embedded with Erudite, with Destiny, with all these people who can affect her decision and intercept information. They could ask. That is an easy timeout because we're literally talking. The conversation, you fucking retard, Ali, is about why they wouldn't ask. That's what we're talking about, you fucking idiot. That's the conversation right now, is should they have asked or not? So saying they could ask, yeah, that's one of the options we're discussing right now, you fucking moron. What do you think we're talking about? Anyway. They're in a position where they don't know if Pixie has been bought off or not. If Pixie has been bought off, and she has decided the payment was enough, I want to keep this quiet. Let's stick this to private. Then it's highly likely that whatever they say to her will be relayed back. And that gives Destiny a chance to respond. It gives me the chance to format a response. It gives him a chance to, even then, he gets a chance to delete evidence. And they could even have a chance to fabricate evidence. For the sake of the public, right? Because it's not like it's a legal issue at that point. It's a pure court of public opinion issue. So I understand why you wouldn't reach out. Because even if she's not bought off, she's still embedded with Erudite and Destiny. That information is still going to get back. So I understand why you would not reach out. However, if you're not going to reach out, if you think it's too risky for the story to reach out, you need to be incredibly fucking sure and incredibly careful with what you release and what narrative you run. Because you don't want to be saying things to the victim that they don't actually think, and you don't want to be running afoul of things the victim could immediately deny, right? Because that's just, you're fucking up the story at that point. Did Straight Raid ask? Well, they weren't looping Straight Raid in either. Straight Raid wasn't working on the video. So the fuck up is, yeah, it can be not asking. It is in part, not asking is sort of part of the fuck up. But that's not to say they had to ask, right? There are ways to make these videos without asking because so much of the information is already public. Like, so Sunday, you're saying, Willy's saying that he could delete evidence for a legal case. Well, a legal case was already on the table. That was already being battered around, you know. It was, is Destiny going to settle with Pixie? Is Pixie going to go public? Is Pixie going to sue? That's the conversation that's happening. Those are the sort of like the options that are on the table. So if Destiny is looking to delete evidence and protect himself from a potential civil suit, he's already had that warning. That's already on the horizon. That's already an idea that's there. So it doesn't really make much sense to say, well, Sunday's video gives him a chance to delete evidence. Well, I mean, he's already got that chance. That's already in play. So it's not quite the same as just like a pedo hunter story where someone's got like evidence that is purely between them of like this incident happening and there's something an authority could do, right? This is like the public already sort of knows about some of this stuff. Destiny's already been confronted about this by the person that could hold him accountable. He's got the warning. It's happened. I don't give a fuck. You never out a victim. Never. Expose everything without naming victims. Okay, what if someone is raping a woman every single day? He is raping 20 women every single day. And you have to name the victim to prove that it's happening. He's just going to keep getting away with it unless you name the victim. Would you name the victim? You call her Jane Doe. Jane Doe, pictured here in this video on Kiwi Farms, with her full face visible, and birthmarks. Jane Doe, pictured here in this Kiwi Farms leak. Okay, Vanessa, I noticed you didn't answer the question. I noticed you did not answer the question. I asked you if the only way to stop the 20 rapes a day was to name the victim. Would you name the victim? And the public did know for sure it was Pixie, because you can look at the face of the person in the video and the moles and shit and freckles on her shoulders, and you can go, oh, that's Pixie. Okay, yeah, let's go hyperbole. I asked you a hypothetical. You made a statement. You made a definitive statement. You said, never out a victim. You never, ever, you reaffirmed it like 3 times in your message. You never, ever out a victim. Okay, so Vanessa is just pro-rape. I would never expose a victim under any circumstances. So you would just let the infinite rape machine tumble on forever. There is no amount of rape that is worth saying a victim's name. The infinite rape machine turns on in Vanessa's world. 20 rapes a day, it doesn't matter, who cares, never say the victim's name. We just let it tumble on. The infinite rape machine keeps churning. No, you have entertained the hyperbole. You've staked a position on it. You never out a victim. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many rapes are happening. You never want a victim to be named. It doesn't matter. Even an infinite amount of rapes, you would be fine with, as long as a victim's name is never said. You've made it clear. You're fine with that. You're fine with it. You're totally fine with that. The point is, though, there's not even any... The idea that naming her is even this big deal. I shut down the name stuff. I shut down the name stuff because I didn't want to be involved in it. I didn't want to be responsible in any way. I wanted to try and give space to see what was happening, to give her a chance. But here's the reality. Every single time I covered this story, which it was circling, there were bits of the leaks still being spoken about, and people were talking about the idea that some of it might not have been consensual. Every single time this came up, there would be endless people in my chat saying, Pixie, 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 Pixie. I'd have to delete 5, 10, 20 messages every time this topic came up. Because you can see it wasn't played. So I've got a little cappuccino cup and a saucer with it. Because I'm gay. Because I'm gay. So every single time, 10, 20 people saying her name. There was no outing the victim. The victim was outed. The victim was outed the moment that video was on Kiwi Farms. Because you could take one look and see it was her. The idea that she was ever going to hide it is fucking insane. It's total delusion. It's complete delusion.
I'm not, so take that how you will. 4 days before Sunday released his video, he had a conversation with Nick acknowledging that Pixie was suicidal over this leaking.
All I'm getting from this is she's really not going to want this to be public. She wants to hurt Steven, but she doesn't want this to be known that she's done this, and this is her.
Yeah.
And she desperately doesn't want her family to know. And if I cover it, there's a good chance they will find out.
Oh, 100%. Why do you think I haven't covered this at all? Like that's my principal issue.
Yeah, that's
here's the thing. If anything happens to Pixie in the foreseeable future,
it all drops.
Well, he will actually be destroyed then. That will be insurmountable. Not destroyed. He'll have his channel. He'll have his audience. But there will be no
politics.
The media company dream will not be a thing. So
it sounds like he's getting excited over the idea of Pixie killing herself and it ending Destiny's career.
If I was a psychopath.
Dude sounds like a psychopath. In fact, during his call with Nick, he gives a hypothetical saying as much.
Here's the thing.
This is my guy.
Let's assume I was a psychopath, and I'm not. Okay, somebody saying these things would be enough to deter me. Let's assume I was a psychopath. Let's assume I published this.
President Sunday talks with Nick. They both agree that going live without the victim's consent is a bad idea, and President Sunday does it anyway. Actual psychopath behavior. President Sunday's justification for this was that Pixie was engaging in extortion against Destiny.
Fortunately, Pixie did the worst thing that someone in her position could do. Rather than seek legal recourse or make a public statement denouncing the violation of her consent and dignity that these leaks represented, she seems to have ultimately chosen to try and profit from the situation by extorting Destiny.
I don't understand how Pixie discussing what her next step is or what the correct form of punishment should be equaling extortion, because that's how most civil cases start. Destiny even says in a statement on Reddit that Pixie at no point made a specific or explicit request for compensation. So I asked President Sunday, did you talk to a lawyer or is this just your layman interpretation of the law? Because let's be real, I don't think there's any way she gets charged for just your layman interpretation of the law. So I asked President Sunday, did you talk to a lawyer or is this just your layman interpretation?
Is he saying lame man? He is. He's saying lame man. Lame man. Dude, I gotta go. Okay. I'm having an autism attack. I'm smirking. I can't fucking take it. I can't take the shit no more, man.
Destiny even says in a statement on Reddit that Pixie at no point made a specific or explicit request for compensation. So I asked President Sunday, did you talk to a lawyer or is this just your layman interpretation of the law? Because let's be real, I don't think there's any way she gets charged for this. President Sunday says, yes, I spoke with lawyers I know. You know what their answer was? Obviously. I asked, can you link me to the statement from the lawyer you spoke with, saying these DMs count as extortion? And he says they were IRL conversations, so no. So I asked who the lawyer was because I would love to confirm this, and he replies, it's someone I know. Go find your own lawyer. It's so obvious to me that he's lying. You're telling me that you talked to a lawyer but didn't get any on the record DMs count as extortion. And he says they were IRL conversations, so no. So I asked who the lawyer was because I would love to confirm this, and he replies, it's someone I know. Go find your own lawyer. It's so obvious to me that confirm this, and he replies, it's someone
Okay, I feel like okay.
I know. Go find your own lawyer. It's so obvious to me that he's lying. You're telling me that you talked to a lawyer but didn't get any on-the-record statement for your video? Sure. To confirm it even farther, President Sunday did a stream leaking all of our DMs. His editor Kilo came forward exposing that President Sunday never talked to a lawyer.
He claimed he might have talked to a lawyer. I don't even think it's worth contesting the idea that he spoke to a lawyer, right? Like, someone can have spoken to a lawyer and the conclusion can still be retarded. Just fight the conclusions. Just fight the things that are being said. Right? Did you talk to a lawyer? You didn't really talk to a lawyer. Like, we're just... Somebody might have spoken to a lawyer. It might have been a Canadian lawyer. It might have been like, who cares? It's an unnamed lawyer. It's a completely unnamed lawyer that isn't being paid. It's essentially worthless. Like, the idea that you would even bother contesting the idea of whether the conversation happened. Like, why would we even nitpick on this when the thing in the first place is fucking retarded? Like, why are we even going into the idea of whether it happened or not when this is an unnamed lawyer that you haven't paid for the legal advice, so they're under no obligation to say anything of worth, you know?
on the record statement for your video? Sure. To confirm it even farther, President Sunday did a stream leaking all of our DMs. His editor Kilo came forward exposing that President Sunday never talked to a lawyer.
He claims he's consulted lawyers about this. Originally, he told me, Kilo, you're not a lawyer. I was raised by one and took law courses in university. But then when he was talking to Aiko, she asked if he spoke to lawyers, and he said, I spoke to people who know lawyers.
There's still a Destiny video? There's still a Destiny video? He also
He told me, Kilo, you're not a lawyer. I was raised by one and took law courses in university. But then when he was talking to Aiko, she asked if he spoke to lawyers, and he said, I spoke to people who know lawyers.
Who did you speak to?
Several people I can't name, but just
lawyers,
trust me on this.
Lawyers.
People who know lawyers.
I think it seems very good. Sunday's got someone in his family who's a lawyer, and he probably asked someone in his family about this and was like, oh, do you think this is extortion? It might have happened. I can totally see that happening. But it doesn't matter because it's worthless, because it's an unnamed lawyer that's not being paid and isn't staking any reputation or anything on this. So why the fuck do I care what some random unnamed lawyer that Sunday spoke to thinks about this?
Consulted lawyers about this. Originally, he told me, Kilo, you're not a lawyer. I was raised by one and took law courses in university. But then when he was talking to Aiko, she asked if he spoke to lawyers, and he said, I spoke to people who know lawyers.
Who did you speak to?
Several people I can't name, but just
lawyers,
trust me on this.
Lawyers.
People who know lawyers.
But then, when he was talking with WillyMac, he said he spoke directly to...
You missed another misspeak, Kuihman. He said to confirm father rather than further.
That's not as bothersome to me as lame, man. Thank you for the $5, though.
Lawyers, but won't mention who.
So Sunday is just lying. Lying to make the victim seem like a bad guy so he doesn't look insane for making his video.
Beckett of Krabs, myself, and President Sunday sat down to present evidence, put together a timeline, and establish what the mission of the project was. I was a little anxious, but also excited to learn what President Sunday had, and I wanted to find out what the justification was for coming out with the story. The nuke. But we started the meeting, and after only about 10 minutes, I interjected. Sunday didn't have a nuke. I'm not even sure Beckett had much of anything. And the only real reason for publishing that was given to me was that because Pixie was supposedly trying to extort Destiny, she was somehow implicated in the cover-up efforts by Destiny and his associates, and therefore had forsaken her right to privacy? Or something like that? I don't know.
Sunday.
How do I download YouTube videos? I want to get paid for slop too. You download YTDLP from GitHub and you get started on commentary videos. I'm answering this question purely because, guys, we've had so many great channels spin out from this area recently. Pepsi, Liquid Sonic. Who else have we had recently? That's just like such a great offspring from here. Morale? Yep. Morale. Morale. Pepsi. Liquid Sonic. Not Dickers. Not Aiden. Maybe just those three, actually. Maybe just those three. Explocheza. People said Aiden, but Aiden doesn't even come from... Aiden was like a RFC kid. He was an RFC kid. Raised by RFC. Aiden be like, I would go to school if this was the teacher, this was the textbook, it's all RFC and Nick the Oreo. Elbint. Elbint, true. Guys, Mr. Girl isn't... No. It's not in the same strain at all. Totally different strain of content.
He does every stream in front of a wall of books, draws himself sitting on a pile of books. He's so knowledgeable, repeatedly calling me stupid in DMs for asking straightforward questions. Meanwhile, he's comfortable just making things up because he's above saying I don't know or I could be in the wrong. The dumbest people I talk to seem to think they're geniuses. Just a pattern I'm recognizing. He's lying about being an intellectual the same way he lied about talking to a lawyer. I'm not convinced he could read Dr. Seuss. He's malicious. He's acted like a psychopath. He outed a victim's story when she was working on the court case. Slandered her.
An American citizen who finds themselves a victim of revenge pornography has several valid actions they can take. Let's go over 3. First, they can seek legal recourse. Second, they may make a public statement denouncing the person who leaked the materials and violated their consent. And in fact, this can be done in conjunction with...
Wait, well, did I miss something I was reading?
Just a pattern I'm recognizing. He's lying about being an intellectual the same way he lied about talking to a lawyer. I'm not convinced he could read Dr. Seuss. He's malicious. He's acted like a psychopath. He outed a victim's story when she was working on the court case. Slandered her.
An American citizen who finds themselves a victim of revenge pornography has several valid actions they can take. Let's go over 3. First, they can seek legal recourse.
Oh yeah, this is a Destiny. I'm sorry, I forgot this was a Destiny video.
Second, they may...
It's a whole... No way is this whole last segment about Sunday. Oh, there's the Beckett interview as well. Okay, well, dude, this is like...
make a public statement denouncing the person who leaked the materials and violated their consent.
Video
and in
about
fact, this can be done in conjunction with the first
not about
option
Destiny.
I mentioned. And finally, they can choose to do nothing. They can stay silent and hope that it all blows over. And this is their right. But Pixie did not do any of these.
She was in the middle of doing the first 2 things, and then you robbed her of the third. But yeah, keep acting like the good guy. He's the type of person I hope never becomes a successful YouTuber. If you're a victim, why would you ever want to share your story? He's shown it's going to leak, then people you've never talked to are going to publicize it. You will be vilified by them because they don't care about you or your legal case at all. If I had any advice for Sunday, it would be to apologize to Pixie and the victims, not just post a pinned comment, half backtrack.
Why does President Sunday look like he could be Bo Black's father?
Thank you for $5. Thank you for the 5 Canadian Sunday. I don't feel so good, Mr. Stein.
Backing what you're saying. Also shower, get a haircut, go outside. You aren't mature enough to cover these sort of things if you don't have basic hygiene. The video made by Sunday's former editor details the clown show that was this investigation. It's the most comedic tragedy I've ever watched.
With all due respect, I'm not sure you think you know what you're saying when you say you have to, because when you
I didn't say have to.
Think?
I didn't say that. You said that. I said you have an expectation, and you said, well, I don't have to do that. And I'm not saying you have to do anything. I'm saying there's an expectation that you do this thing. When you're communicating with someone in private, they're expecting that you're not going to show that to other people without asking them first.
Okay, but if they're asleep, they're not expecting, are they?
If they're asleep?
They're asleep, yeah. If people are asleep, they're not expecting anything. They're kind of just out, right?
Are you trolling me right now?
No, I'm actually making a serious point.
The conversations he had with his editor are psychotic.
Why the f are you adding extra risks to this? We're already in enough danger as is.
You think we're in danger? I don't think
we are in tremendous danger. So you don't think, for example, if you said something that was able to be effectively spun by someone like Nick DeOrio that managed to get some traction that cast aspersions on my entire channel, that income plummeted, so I can't pay you, that doesn't affect you?
It's about me, me, me. How does this affect Sunday? How can I manipulate my editor into staying quiet? I also talked to Beckett, who worked somewhat with Sunday and dropped his video on the same day. Now, his wasn't nearly as bad.
Okay, I would manipulate your editor into staying quiet. I don't think it's unfair to say, hey, if you're going to be my editor on this project, don't undermine me in public. I don't think that's an unreasonable ask if someone's working with you.
But he still went forward with the video knowing only secondhand information. Really third-hand because he's getting it from Sunday. Recognize you're getting your information secondhand. At any point, did you try to reach out to Pixie?
No. But to be clear, this was a very brief period, a couple of days. I clearly did want to reach out.
Okay, here we go.
To reach out to Pixie.
No. But to be clear,
if you're going to do this, okay, but what Beckett's going to do here, what Beckett's not going to do here, he's not going to make a stupid mistake and sit here and say, well, we didn't have enough time, I didn't know what to do. He's not going to do that retarded move that it seems like he's going to do. He's actually, moments after that clip that we just saw ends, what's actually going to happen is Becky is going to do us all proud. He's going to save it by making a well-thought-through argument about how there's a bunch of complicated social dynamics where information is being reported back, and there was already enough in public to go off of to where you weren't endangering the story by coming out with it before Pixie was ready. That's what he's going to do. He's going to lay out a well thought out position on exactly when it's okay to go public with something without getting a comment first. And he is not going to just sit there and bemoan how he didn't have a lot of time and was under a lot of pressure. Okay? Do me proud, Beckett.
Information, secondhand. At any point, did you try to reach out to Pixie?
No. But to be clear, this was a very brief period, a couple of days. I clearly did want to reach out to people. There was actually a conversation where I wanted to reach out to Lonerbox. Because I don't know Pixie.
But why did you reach out to Lonerbox?
I didn't. But but that's partly because of what Loner had just done on the stream. I think that's a mistake, by the way. I'll own that mistake. But I obviously wanted to reach out to people. For instance, I went to FPS Diesel for an optics check on the DMs and what he thought. I was reaching out to Nick.
Nick and Diesel, no less than Beckett and Sunday. What does going to them do? Realize why I'm so critical, though, of you and Sunday? Because, hold on, you're telling me, though, you're telling me, though, that this was done over a couple of days. You didn't bother to reach out to Lonerbox or Pixie, and you guys went for the story anyway. How did you even get the draft? Was that from Aaron, too?
Sorry, get the
draft of, like,
statement?
Pixie's draft statement.
Yeah, I showed that in the DMs. Yeah.
So you guys have a draft from her. It seems like she's going to come out in some way because she has a fucking written draft. Like, it just seems, it blows my mind, man. Like, you've been somebody where I've been told over and over again, nah, dude, Copenseed is great. He does great videos, takes a lot of care with them. And it's like, to me, I look at this and I'm like, I cannot believe, it just seems like such a selfish story.
Well, hold on. Let me be clear. I don't think selfish is fair. I think I can take a lot of criticism. I think there are issues there, but I don't think selfish is fair.
In what way is that not selfish?
Well, because I didn't do this to get clout or money or like acclaim. I thought this was going to end my fucking channel.
Why?
Sunday was going to release a video. I thought I know Sunday, and I thought what needed to be done at the same time was painting a picture of what happened, but behind the scenes, to explain why so many people had these DMs. What I needed was Sunday's DMs with Straighter Aid. I didn't expect this to be a video where I'd get like pats on the back.
Again, why you think it would damage you?
What, the video?
Yeah, before you made it.
Because I recognized that once these were coming out, the people who were releasing them would get rightfully a fair amount of criticism for doing so.
Then why
but
would
I
you
also
release it?
Because, well, for some
Okay, this is just like this is absurd fumble. Okay.
The people who were releasing them would get rightfully a fair amount of criticism for doing so.
Then why
but
would
I
you
also
release it?
because, well, for some I've said publicly as well, if Sunday wasn't releasing his video, I wouldn't have released the same video. I probably wouldn't have acted in the same way. But Sunday looked at these are coming out. He wants to talk about it. Well, okay. It needs a companion piece.
So because he is jumping off of a bridge, you're doing it too, dude? Oh, fuck, man.
Well, like, and again, that's why I'm saying it's, something I expected to do damage to me. But also, what was the other option? Lie about it?
No, the other option is
hold on.
Everybody else did, and you just let everybody else shoot themselves in the foot if he's going to be reckless with the victim and her claims and hijack her story. Like, you realize she was talking to lawyers during this, and they're gathering.
Okay, Willy hasn't really engaged there. If you actually think the video is going to go out either way, surely it would be better to try to manage the narrative that goes out with it than to just step back and just let it happen. Surely you would want to try and make sure that the narrative's somewhat on track.
Gathering information. Crazy.
Well, that's assuming the video is absolutely going to come out either way, right? Obviously, that's assuming that part. It is absolutely the video is going to go out either way. All you can do is make the best decision with what's happening right now. Assuming that, you would probably want to help manage the narrative.
On many levels, I'm with you. And I think one of my constant comments through this is, how does this reach me? I am like 5th person down the chain. How does this reach me with no one doing any of that?
It just makes me go, like, how were you the person to feel like you should make that video?
because I thought it was such a fucking mess that at least I could make an uneditorialized.
Here's I
piece and
don't
get the
think was
information
as
out.
bad, but just the premise of this whole thing, when I talk to everybody, it's just...
I think it is a mess.
Beckett is the only person I talked to that acknowledged wrongdoing and said he would go about things differently in the future. Takeaway seems to be what I think is the most important thing, and that's that you have to reach out to Pixie. You got to make clear, or Lonerbox, and you got to make clear of like, hey, this is what I know. This is the story I'm thinking of running. I want to know like what's going on with this. Are you guys pursuing anything? And then they could go ahead and like give you the guidelines to it. Like, hey, look, we're talking legally. We'd rather this not come out.
Yeah, like again, I'm not defending.
Okay,
every
what is
part
this
of
again?
and
I hate the phrasing. The phrasing has this weird, subtle sweeping to it. There's like a bunch of narrative loading that's happening here. For this to come out. The story wasn't coming out. The story was out. Pixie's face is there. You can tell Pixie is there. People know Pixie's position on a lot of this stuff. People have heard Pixie talk at length about what she thinks about sex and stuff. You can make a reasonable interpretation. Oh, I'm not sure that there's any consent here. There's some red flags here. There's some situational, some circumstantial indications that maybe Pixie didn't want this sent around to 19-year-old girls on Discord. Maybe she didn't want this being sent around for the next 3 years to 19-year-old girls on Discord. So you can interpret that from where we're at. Ali Katalis, I don't know what you think you're saying. I don't know what you think you're saying. You're not responding to a point. So you can make that reasonable interpretation from just the public stuff. So the story, in terms of being out, is already kind of there. Again, they leaked specific DMs that filled in gaps, right? That essentially confirmed that there wasn't consent. You can say that didn't need to come out, and that there was no need to leak that, or that it was done in the wrong way, or whatever. But when you present it as though they leaked the whole story, they brought forward the whole story, that's not quite true. That isn't quite true.
I don't want to. I mean, that's how I started the call, right?
Which is more than any other person I talked to. He became very critical of himself, especially as things moved off the record. I respect him for that.
When I met you, I admit my first thoughts was a trick. You look so good, huh? I suck on your daddy's dick.
Every day that passes, the drama gets more hilarious. Destiny and Hassan are watching each other's content nukes while refusing to view their own. I get he's going through a legal case, but at some point he needs to address that video. During my off-the-record conversation with Beckett, he asked me a pointed question. When would you associate with Destiny again? If he was part of some drama as a side character and I interviewed him, I would do it then, but I don't think I could just go hang on his podcast anymore. Destiny and I were not friends. However, I have a lot of respect for him. He's the only major creator in the political space that I have covered that actually looks stuff up, reads first-hand information, and directly engages with his critics. That may seem like a low bar, but it's rare. He's somebody that has always demanded accountability from others, but right now when he's objectively in the wrong, he's not taking any of it. He's calling Nick a hypocrite for
Okay, yeah, this is a soft sweeping video. Okay.
Saying innocent until proven guilty with Ethan, but not treating himself that way. Nick then makes very clear you shared Pixie's intimate videos with a random 19-year-old OnlyFans model, and then posted logs where
it's not just a matter of not being held. It's not a matter of not being held accountable, of avoiding accountability. It's not just about that. He has fundamentally betrayed core principles of his that he has argued in those podcasts that you just showed clips of.
You admitted to severely damaging her, and he links the messages of Destiny doing just that. I'm the kind of person that could forgive anyone for about anything, but there needs to be remorse, and he's obviously not there yet. His coworkers cover for him saying he is, but I don't see it. I don't see how anyone could take him seriously until then. I also want to emphasize how good the video was by President Sunday's former editor, Kilo. He actively tried to correct the record.
Okay, it was aesthetically good, but actually the video sucks. If you think that video is good, like your judgment is just like retarded. The video sucks. There's almost no conclusions that you can draw from that video that you couldn't draw from public information. Like seriously, what is one conclusion in that Kilo video that you could not get from public information? Can anyone name one? Sunday didn't care about victims, only cared about hurting Destiny. Wow, big shocker. Wow, my mind's fucking blown. Do we have anything?
Record, and his video has very few views. He gave up money to try and do the right thing, and I think that should be acknowledged. Hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel, and shout out to the homies over on Patreon. Crimson Glass, Riveter,
Wow. Okay, I think Becky wanted to come on. Becky, do you want to join the waiting room, my Discord, if you're around? Hi.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Yep, good. So, what did you want to add stuff to that interview?
Yeah. Like I might go over some of it. Like I don't hate the video. I wanted to talk to Willy because I know he was talking to lots of people, and I think that's fair. There is like points in this interview. I mean, like you're getting like a couple of minutes from it. It's like the full call, even the on the record stuff is like 22 minutes. So it is long. I didn't give Willy any direction on like what to cut or anything else. So I'm not mad at him. But yeah, like obviously there's more. I think like quite early on, I'm setting out like Corontos saying Pixie's name over and over again, the bad empanada stuff, the stuff with Hassan talking about it. And I think actually in the on the record bit, Willy agrees with me. This was coming out, but I also understand Willy's point around talking to people. And I mean, I think I've said this publicly already. You know, if I could, I think one of the big things is I should have reached out. So I just sort of accept that as a mistake.
Okay,
And fuck up.
what would have changed if you'd reached out for you?
I don't know. I just think that's the. I just think that would have been the correct thing to do. I think as well. Like it is fair to say there are concerns there, right? Like I think you point these out earlier.
Okay,
with,
yeah, but it's just like, I guess people can sit there and bitch and moan that people should have reached out, but oh, WillyMac wants to come on. WillyMac, discord.gg/Kuihman. Okay, we're in my stream voice channel, so if you want to jump on, feel free. I'll drag you in. Yeah, so I feel like people can moan about you know, not leaking stuff, but I don't know what you would have really changed, because let's say Pixie says I wasn't extorting anyone or whatever. Well, I mean that probably doesn't change your reading of the messages. And if she had said, well, I kind of want to pursue a legal case, I don't want this to come out right now, would you have like not released the video?
No, I think I think it's one of those where the situation had progressed to the point where this is coming out. That's like an acceptance thing, but a bit more heads up, I think would have been the fair thing to do. Just for me. Maybe that's like fucking like hindsight 2020 buyer's remorse kind of shit. But it's just like I guess how I feel about it. The whole situation for me is kind of a bit fucked. I think I've come to the realization as well that because a lot of the people involved in this are people I've known for years, and particularly around people like Erudite, I've obviously got an emotional investment in this. And I don't know how much that clouded me. I think I'm just trying to be self-reflective on things. I think that's kind of where I'm sat, because I don't think criticism of me is like unfair. I'm just trying to be reasonable with it, right?
Yeah, sure. I guess I'm just a bit lost. Like I think asking for comment is like the gold standard for like, sure, you know, journalistic ethics or whatever. Like you should, that's like ideally ask for comment. I don't know at what point, I feel like there needs to be some engagement when people are criticizing this. At what point, like, do you just not ask for comment because you know that it's going to give the other party time to fuck shit up? Like, Destiny is has been such a aggressive actor.
Sure.
Whenever he's accused of something. If you've got the screenshot of him saying, I've caused psychological damage, blah, 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 you're not really, like, you've got the evidence. You've got him doing it, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you're expecting to change in that. And when it's a YouTube video, I agree we should aim for decent ethics, but it's not a journalistic piece in a newspaper. And a lot of the journalistic rules, like journalistic ethics there, are made to not necessarily protect the subjects of the story, but protect the journalist and the publication from claims of defamation.
Well, this is partly like what I've felt with a lot of this stuff. And I know that you and I spoke not about the DMs, but about the Pixie situation generally. I do think, and I felt at the time, and I still feel that certain people have used the don't name victims thing to protect themselves, and protect their and to protect Destiny. Lonerbox, I think I like Lonerbox. I trust Lonerbox as well. I think this is why, like, not reaching out to him, I feel like is potentially more of something that I'm like, I should have done that.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's a dumb way to look at it, because it's not about whether you like the person or not and whether you want to give them a tip off. It's about, like, is it material to the story? Do you need the comment to go public with it? Like, that's what it's about, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I think as well, like, because this, you know, I said this during the interview section. Hey, Willie. You know, Hassan was already talking about this on the Saturday. You know, it's the idea that this wasn't reaching a wide audience. The idea that people hadn't figured this out right from the off. I don't think is fair.
Hey, Willie, can you hear us? Okay, I think he's getting set up or something. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm kind of waiting for Willie's, because I'm mostly on the side, like, I get sort of where you guys are coming from with releasing the video. So I think Willie's probably better to represent the other side than I am, and I'll try and step back a little bit, because I don't want to...
Yeah, listen, mate. Hey.
Can you guys hear me?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, I agree that it was coming out, but the big problem I have with your guys' videos, well, Sunday's video more so than yours, Beckett, is that he just completely slanders Pixie. He assumes that she takes the bribe to stay silent and endangers all future victims, which is obviously the main criticism there. And then this thing being viral on Kiwi, or being like big and being out, that's like your guys' little like DGG off circle and Kiwi Farms. That's completely different than it being like mainstream on Twitter, everybody talking about Pixie.
People were under Pixie's tweets posting about it, right?
Yeah, but how many people? If you go to her most viewed tweet with the most comments, is it at most 8 people?
I mean, it's gonna be almost impossible for me to find anything.
No, I know, but it wasn't that big, because most people, like, she's talking in the DMs with Destiny, and she's saying, if my parents find out about it, her parents are not on Kiwi Farms. Her parents are on fucking the broader internet, like most people, right? Just because someone's on Kiwi Farms doesn't mean everybody's talking about it.
It was just Kiwi Farms initially, but you recognize that once there's a bad Empanada video made, once Hassan's watching that on stream, now it's reaching a breaking point, right? So that was before the videos came out, and that was sort of what we're talking about when we say
that is like the impetus.
Well, no, but you guys are then excusing these videos coming out where they don't even reach out to like clarify comments before slandering the victim and saying she took hush money.
Okay, well, I understand that there's a problem with slandering the victim, but I feel like you're kind of baking two things in together there. Do you think
both things do matter?
Okay,
yeah.
Well, is not reaching out to the victim bad on its own, like always bad, or is it bad because of the slandering that happened later?
Well, if they reached out to the victim, they probably wouldn't slander her.
So
right?
if you reach out to someone and say, "Hey, did you extort this person?" and then you have DMs that lead you to the conclusion that they extorted,
you should. Which is
let me lay this out. Let me lay this out for you. 1 second.
All right, lay it out.
You believe someone is extorting someone else. Person A is extorting person B, and you have DMs to evidence this that have led you to this conclusion. You reach out to person A and you say, "Hey, are you extorting person B?" And they say, "Oh, no, I'm not extorting person B. That's not my intention at all." But you don't provide any more evidence.
Dude, the evidence Sunday had was a single tweet that said she was taking the LSAT.
I'm not making a statement on what the evidence Sunday had was. I'm simply
interrogating
your standing. Yeah,
but
I'm interrogating your standing because you're taking positions. I'm interrogating what the position actually is.
So you don't want to talk about the actual subject matter?
We can get there.
Of why I said what I'm
trying
saying?
to ask you what your position is on it. I'm trying to get you to engage with like the idea behind it, not just the evidence that's shown. So when they reach out to Pixie, should their conclusion be changed by just Pixie saying, that wasn't my intention"?
You should ask for the full context of the DMs and say, "Hey, did you get paid?" Because the conclusion Sunday has is, here's evidence that she's getting paid, or that she was looking for money to extort Destiny. Dude, the full story matters. You're trying to cut it off early because you're wrong.
I'm going step by step.
The conclusion is obviously you have to reach out to figure out the full story.
I'm going step by step with you here. So
you are going step by step because you're cutting it off halfway through. You're cutting off half the information.
I don't know why you're getting so defensive about this, Willie. Look, we can put that bit to the side, okay?
Well,
so the extortion thing wouldn't have been changed by comment. So now we're talking about the
Why would
paid
it
off
not
thing.
be changed? It's the
I mean,
whole
you didn't
thing.
seem to. You didn't seem to.
About?
Okay, you didn't seem to contest it just then. So how would their perception of the extortion thing have been changed? No, because you're talking about now the paid off part. The paid off part could have been changed.
That is part of the extortion.
Yeah, but the extortion, okay, but the extortion can still be true.
What is she extorting him for?
Okay,
money.
The attempt
and then he says she's paid off. That's the same thing.
Willie,
it's all connected, Kuihman.
The attempt to extort can be true.
You just keep talking. Is this the fucking...
Are you listening to what I'm saying?
You aren't engaging in anything.
I am engaging. The attempt to extort can be true, but the paid off part could be false. So like, I'm going one claim at a time. So attempt to extort off the table. Now we're talking about the paid off part. So I agree with you.
Where's the attempt to extort?
Well, that's what Sunday's believing. That's part of the narrative. That's part of the slandering that's being accused, right? Is that Sunday believed that Pixie was attempting to extort?
Yeah, the attempt to extort is him saying, here are DMs. I believe it is extortion because I talked to a lawyer, which he completely lied about. That is not true. He did not talk to any lawyer. Okay.
I don't think it matters whether he spoke to Laura or not. Some unnamed lawyer's comment
is totally matters because if you're accusing someone of extortion, you should probably know what the fuck you're talking about and getting a professional opinion.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. My point is that some unnamed lawyer is worthless whether he spoke to them or not. Like that shouldn't.
No, it's not. Getting an on the record lawyer is worth doing.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. On the record, like or paid
matters.
to give advice. Yeah, that would be good. But Sunday,
okay, so you agree him? Hold on. Okay. You agree with him just lying about it? Then that matters,
no, I'm
right?
Also, just lying about which part?
What are we?
What do you lie about? What are you
with the fucking conversation? This is crazy, bro.
I don't care whether he actually spoke. Listen, Willie, stop cutting me off. I don't care if he spoke to an actual.
What are we talking about?
You do. I was just speaking. You just cut me off right there. What are you on about?
I know. Keep going.
Okay. So I don't care if Sunday spoke to an actual lawyer or not, because a comment from an unnamed lawyer is worthless anyway. So it doesn't add any weight to his claim for me, because I don't care if he spoke to a fucking lawyer, because it's an unnamed lawyer who has no obligation to give any decent statement on it. So it's it's a layman interpretation either way.
Sunday's entire point of coming out with the video is that, well, he's talking to Nick and he's saying, I can't come out with this video because otherwise I'm going to get blamed for Pixie killing herself, right? He goes, I don't want Pixie to kill herself. I can't do that. That would be psychotic. I would be a psycho if I came out with this video.
Yes.
And then he goes, well, she's extorting Destiny, so now it's game, and I'm totally okay to come out with this video. So it's the entire justification. So yes, it does matter.
Wait, what are you saying matters now? Whether the extortion claim is true, I agree with you. That part matters. I don't think it matters whether he actually spoke to a lawyer or not, because the comment from a lawyer doesn't matter. That's all I was saying. It doesn't matter.
Lying about why he thinks is extortion matters, because it's the whole reason he came out with the video.
But he has a line of logic for why he thinks it's extortion that doesn't rely on...
His line of logic is him lying,
exactly.
bro.
So,
you realize that, right?
No, the line of... I spoke to a lawyer is not part of a line of logic. That's just a claim of something that he did. Okay. My point is
for him to verify the extortion, which is part of his line of logic, is him lying about it. He doesn't care whether it's extortion or not. He just wants to come out with the video.
I agree.
And he's lying.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. He just wants to come out with the video. I agree. He just wants to come out with the video. Okay. I'm not sitting here saying Sunday's doing an altruistic thing here. That's not why I'm arguing to you.
Well, you're bringing up like extortion. It's like you completely don't understand the argument at all. It's insane.
Okay.
Like you have no idea.
Educate me then, WillyMac. Sure, I haven't been covering this for the last like fucking 3 weeks extensively, every single angle of it, arguing with a bunch of different people about it.
Super clear.
Okay, what am I missing? Just lay out to me.
You're missing that the reason the extortion argument matters isn't that whether he thinks it's extortion, or it does matter whether he thinks it's extortion or not. He's completely made up whether he's completely made up like his justification for coming out with the video. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're saying that he's fabricated the claim of extortion as a pretense.
He's fabricated the claim after he said very clearly, because like your whole saying is like, oh, well, this is all going to come out anyway, or this is already out. No, right? That's like what you're saying.
These are two separate things, okay? So my point...
I don't understand. This whole thing, like, it's one story, dude. I get you. Like,
okay, you can just say you can keep saying it's one story. It's one story again and again, but you're staking multiple positions that I'm trying to pick apart here. You're saying reach out to the victim. My one position... Okay, go for it.
My one position is you cannot come out with this video until you reach out to the victim and confirm these secondhand information you're getting, right? You can't do that. That doesn't make any sense because you're going to get stuff wrong. Because you do not know the full story.
Just for my sake, which parts are the secondhand information to you?
Well, the fact that she is taking hush money and you're entirely basing it off of a fucking tweet in combination with secondhand DMs you're getting, saying like she asked for $1 million.
Okay, so if you're saying,
which wasn't even true, by the way.
So, so if you're saying that to run the part of the story where Sunday claims that there is extortion, a payoff, and it's all to do with this law school and all this little
and that she took the money and that she's putting future victims in danger. Yes.
All this second part of the story that comes after the leak, after the actual act, all that second part, the speculation stuff. If you're saying that he has to reach out before running something like that, I totally agree. The point I'm
what are you arguing with?
Well, the point I'm trying, because you keep saying, you repeatedly state both in your video and on this stream, coming out with stuff like this before reaching out to a video, before reaching out to the victim. That's not. That can mean a lot of different things. That can apply to the first part where we're just talking about the act, the leak, the stuff that was ostensibly public beforehand, versus the stuff that's circling behind the scenes with extortion, with the negotiations. These are two different parts of the story. One of them, I believe,
what is the part that you think it's okay to come out with? Just say that.
I believe it's okay to talk about the leak and to make assessments on whether you think it was consensual or not, based on circumstantial information. I think talking about the leak that happened on Kiwi Farms.
Sure, you could talk about, hey, like these leaks. I don't think. Yeah, sure. Why could you not do that?
I think a lot of people. There was even like sort of a unspoken rule around like all these communities that we were moderating away Pixie's name, anything that could direct people towards that idea until this came out, and it was becoming an untenable position.
You probably should if you want to be like nice, but if you don't give a shit about
I was trying to be nice. I was trying to be
be
nice, but once Bad Empanada starts talking about it, once Hassan starts saying Low in the Box got cucked and all this stuff, well, it's kind of an untenable position at that point. Like, and that's before
untenable.
To keep moderating Pixie's name and pretending nothing's happening. Because everyone's talking about it. It's like a huge story where there's like not just the story is being ran, but there's actual misinformation about the story being ran by huge YouTubers. You're just supposed to sit there, cover it, and bite your tongue.
All these guys did was spread more misinformation. That's all Beckett and Sunday did.
I agree. The speculation. Beckett, okay, well, Beckett's going to contest that. I agree. Sunday's video, absolutely, like it's not good. Like, I mean, it's not a good video on Destiny.
Okay, then why are you sweeping for it?
I'm not sweeping for it. I'm just like contesting your point. I think there's low levels of engagement happening with the actual issues here, like when it's okay to reach out to victims, when it's okay to come forward with a story about against the victim's wishes. I think there's a very low level of engagement happening, and we're just making retarded hand wave statements where we go, "Oh, you did this without reaching out to the victims" for the whole 40-minute duration of our video without ever engaging with the topic.
Before you go ahead and hold on, I make very clear the very baseline before you go ahead and like start making crazy claims like, "Oh, she's not coming out. Here's her fucking draft statement. See, I told you she wouldn't come out." As you have literally a draft of her coming out. That's fucking retarded. You should absolutely confirm that.
Yeah,
you only have secondhand information.
I'm not sweeping on that at all. I'm just contesting. I'm contesting the broad statements that you're making, the broad positions you were taking in the video that don't simply apply to that.
Too, I'm saying I did say before this comes out, but I also made very clear during the video that this was available on Kiwi Farms, and that people in Discord, people like in these Discord circles already knew. But there's a difference between that, obviously, and that being on like a big enough or wide enough scale to reach like her parents or like a normie audience. Because I didn't know this shit was going on. I'm not in these fucking weirdo Discord circles.
Okay, but,
I'm not in
you
like a
acknowledge
thing
that,
like
that threshold that your parents are going to find out threshold was getting very. We were very close to that threshold from just the Hassan and Bad Empanada stuff, right?
Sure, but what does that change?
Well, because it changes the calculation about how whether it's wrong to start broadly talking about and naming people, right?
Well, you could talk about it. You probably shouldn't slander the victim, or you should reach out to the victim.
But slandering the victim, not slandering the victim is a separate thing to not reaching out to someone before you talk about something that's pretty broadly known on Kiwi Farms and being discussed by Hassan, right?
I mean, prominently known on Kiwi Farms is still like no-name stuff, right? You realize
well, it's not
that.
Because every content creator is reading that shit, and so I mean, it's only a matter
every
of time
content
before
creator
Turkey Tom
is you, Chud Logic, and like that's it, man. Like it's like,
dude,
this is
sorry,
not
you're
that
friends
big.
with Turkey Tom. His whole channel is Kiwi Farm reading videos. What?
I guess, but Tom didn't seem like he knew that much about it.
Tom, are you fucking serious? Really? You don't think Tom knew that much about it?
In the Kilo video, it sure didn't seem like he knew that much about it. Nick DiOrio in the call with Sunday didn't know much about it.
They knew the gist. They knew the gist. They knew that it wasn't really consensual. They knew the gist.
Well, so what are we arguing about then? I don't even get it. What are you talking about with Sunday?
Well,
then?
you were saying, you just said to me, Kiwi Farms is like nothing. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
If it's all over there, every YouTuber is reading
behind the
it.
scene knows some shit. Otherwise,
it's not just these
why would
creators,
any
dude.
of it go viral? Why did when Sunday drop his video, this become 10
I
times
can
bigger?
explain to you how
idiot?
some of it could go viral because there's
It's
millions
so silly,
YouTubers
bro.
with millions of subs who get huge videos by simply
Yes, it
reading
got
Kiwi Farms
bigger.
threads. Who make huge videos by simply reading Kiwi Farms threads on their channel, and then other people see that and they go, "Oh, I want to get a big channel. I want to read Kiwi Farms and get a big channel too, just like Turkey Tom does." And then they say, "Oh, look, there's a story about revenge porn that's not being reported on by anyone." Yeah, of course it made it better. But
Dude,
the
that's
point I'm
all
contesting.
the conversation's about, dude. You dummy.
The point
Do you
I'm
acknowledge
contesting
that?
to you is you are suggesting
so
that if it's
silly.
just on Kiwi Farms, it's isolated, which is obviously a
It's on
ridiculous
Kiwi
thing
Farms,
that any
that's
YouTuber
obviously
knows
a
is totally
smaller-
untrue.
No, it's obviously smaller, dude. It's
Everyone just knows
This
it's
wasn't
untrue.
isolated. No, hold on. This wasn't isolated to Kiwi Farms, and it never was. Like, the minute these dropped, you had huge Twitter conversations about Destiny sucking dick and people like joking or guessing that it might be Nick Fuentes.
Yes.
You had multiple conversations around like his relationships with his orbiters, his sex life, the
Yes.
stuff that was going on with Melina. And the reason this like caught is because Destiny's like closest orbiters were people like Dan and Erudite, and they were continuing on in the same band of, well, Destiny, well, we don't really know what's going on. We're going to keep
Is there a
working with
difference
them.
between content creators knowing and the public? I mean, this is such a retarded conversation. Surely you guys
hold on.
understand that.
But the problem is that the public did know, which is why everyone
They
started
did
to
not
look into
know
it.
on that wide of a scale, dude. It's so
What are we calling a wide scale here?
We're talking about literally the difference between a few thousand people and millions.
So would you agree that the point when Bad
And the fact
Empanada and
that
her
you guys
span of
can't
like
actually acknowledge that and just say, yeah, that's true, it's absurd.
No.
It's
Hold on.
so silly.
Hold on. But like again, like what's being jumped over is like part of the motivation for the release. Because my motivation isn't Pixies extorting Destiny. I say this to you, I don't care. Like that's not a motivating factor. My motivating factor is the fact, well, Lonerbox, Friend of Destiny, obviously involved in this and like the discussions around it, is taking shots at Destiny on stream, like through vague posting. That's a trigger pull. You've got Bad Empanada making videos on the topic with misinformation. That's a trigger pull. You have Hassan doing streams on it. That's a trigger pull. You've got Corontos on JSTLK shouting Pixie's name. You have multiple people through Twitter saying Pixie's name. There are multiple trigger pulls for this.
You can name all the people. It's still a pretty small sample size in the fucking grand scheme of millions
But one
of people.
of them's Hassan.
Right?
One of them's Hassan, dude.
Hold on. If you're Hassan and you don't give a fuck and you just want to go ahead and repeat like, hey, this is what I'm hearing behind the scenes. Here's some shit with Pixie. You could go ahead and say that. That's completely different than releasing an entire narrative like Sunday did. That's just fucking not true.
I agree. The narrative's totally fucked. I totally agree. The narrative's fucked and shit. And it's fucked that Sunday blasted that. It's such a huge
Hold on. So my part with you guys is if you don't give a fuck about Pixie, then whatever, go do your thing, but don't make videos pretending you do care or have these fucking conversations behind the scenes.
Hold on. I never said that in my video.
I really wanted. That's my main issue right now.
I never said that in my video. I said the fact that this was a story that multiple content creators knew about.
Those calls?
Which calls?
With Kilo and Sunday?
Like what? The later ones? No. Like we talked over like on the
Did
Saturday.
you guys talk about the optics of extortion and that's okay to come out with it now? Or is his editor lying?
I think those conversations occurred. But like again, like Willy, you're asking me what Sunday did and what Sunday's motivations are. You said the videos are full of misinformation. Like what in my video is misinformation?
I'd have to rewatch it, but I mean, I think in the point, do you say that? Yeah, because your video is the one with Pixie's.
I read out,
right?
I go through
statement.
Yeah, but that's handed
true?
over. That gets handed over from
You
Straight
asked for
Parade.
misinformation.
Kelly,
I'm
okay,
back.
Kelly, chill for 1 minute, okay? Don't just jump
Hold on.
Do I
Hold
have
on.
to? This
Okay,
guy's
what's
being
up, Kelly?
condescending as
Stop.
fuck.
Chill, Kelly, please. Just take it easy.
Hold on.
Okay, one second.
Hold on.
Let's
Is this
take it.
Kelly
That's
Jean,
Kelly
the
Jean.
person Destiny was DMing me about?
Probably,
Okay, now
yes.
I'm getting cut off. Listen,
let's
there's
all
so many
chill,
calls that
just
have, been,
Beckett right
have
now,
gone
yeah.
through, and I feel like I get cut,
You have
cut
me
off.
added on Discord. Why would you ask that? You also follow me on Twitter. You're like, who is this Kelly? Is this Kelly Jean? Of course it
I
fucking
didn't
is.
hover over that fucking icon, bro. I don't know. You just joined the call.
Apparently you don't know a lot of things.
Kelly, please, let Beckett
Okay,
and
Kelly, what did
Willy
I
hash
miss?
this out. Okay.
Okay.
Did you check with me that the thing that was said about me in your video was true?
Me?
No, but I didn't preach it as if it was true.
Okay, so why would you regurgitate his false narratives in defense of his own false
I
narratives?
literally just read his statement. I didn't say if they were true or not. I don't know if they're true or not.
Do you maybe think you should have checked?
No, because it doesn't fucking matter, Kelly.
It don't matter. Brilliant. Well, thank you for perpetuating lies against me.
How did I perpetuate lies? If he's lying about
Because
you, that's
you
bullshit.
could have checked.
I don't
you
know
could
if
have
it's true or
messaged
not.
me. You could have messaged me. Then multiple people even could have clarified.
Is the
for you that
video
that was
about
nonsense.
Kelly Jean? No, it's not about fucking Kelly Jean. The Pixie video they're making. Hold on. One
You
is
just
Destiny
asked
making.
You just
Kelly.
asked for misinformation example. I gave you one, you bitch.
And I'm telling you why it doesn't. Why it's not the same. One is
Okay,
Destiny
so it's
making.
not, is it not misinformation?
If Destiny's lying about you, that's on Destiny.
Okay, good job. Brilliant. Excellent.
Is that not true? Am I fucking crazy for that statement? That's so obvious.
So it's fine to spread misinformation as long as you didn't come up with it.
I mean, to be fair,
Well, when
if it's
you cover a
different to
story about
make an
somebody
allegation
fucking
versus
lying,
quoting
it's
one, it is
obviously
different,
true.
right?
You don't know the difference between you
logic is
making
that?
you don't know the difference between you making a false allegation and somebody else doing it. You don't know that. You think that's the same thing, you fucking idiot.
I think that if you're going to be a condescending prick and speak down to other people about misinformation, you should probably get your ducks in a row too.
Fucking President Sunday created the misinformation, Kelly.
I don't care about President
Okay,
Sunday.
well,
he was just quoting Destiny, okay?
Leave the
Like-
call if you don't care. This is the conversation.
You.
Oh my god.
Kelly, I'm sure
What
Woody's
is- what
very
the
sorry
fuck is
for
going on?
putting that screenshot in the Destiny
Kelly,
video.
I
Okay?
don't,
Like-
Kelly, if Destiny lied about you, that is interesting to me, but that's completely different than what we're talking about.
I am aware you brought up misinformation.
Well, then you aren't aware because
and
you're
you
arguing
asked-
about.
Yeah, you asked for misinformation in your video. Is it not misinformation in your
I've
video?
lost control. It's over.
Destiny's statement
It
is
doesn't
misinformation,
matter.
and that falls on Destiny.
The whole video isn't even about President Sunday either, right? So I don't know why you bring up President Sunday to me. It doesn't matter. If you are like sitting there being a condescending prick, right, about misinformation, then probably you should check your sources and shit too. If you're
Jason,
gonna
I didn't
include
drag her
stuff,
in. She
you're
just
gonna sit
joined.
there and
I-
read
she's
out
got
and then
perms,
call,
okay.
and then call the girls crazy. So making the statement that I am crazy without even checking what the fuck he's
Kelly,
talking
you are
about.
coming off as
Then
fucking
yes.
crazy to me right now, by the way.
Oh, congratulations.
fucking are, dude.
I'm crazy because I'm pointing out you put misinformation in your video.
Okay,
No, you're
Kelly,
crazy 'cause you
it's-
don't know the difference between a Destiny making a statement and President Sunday making false.
It's a quote. It's a quote, right?
I know
It's just a
who
screenshot.
came up with it. I know who came up
But
with
you
it.
don't see a difference, which is weird.
No, I am aware that there's a difference, but that's still misinformation you put in your video, you condescending twat.
Okay, all right, Kelly, you win, dude. I don't.
Okay, Kelly, can we just get back to Beckett and Willy? Okay, thanks for coming on. I hope you feel like that's addressed. I'm gonna just
what a prick.
get it back to Beckett and Willy. Okay.
So
All right.
you asked about the statement. Well, the statement is what is handed to Sunday by Straight
hold on.
Parade.
Where are we? What statement?
You asked about like including the Pixie's statement, right, in the video.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what's handed to Sunday by Straight Parade. I think that's relevant.
And the narrative's that she's not coming out with the statement.
I didn't.
Right, 'cause she took the money.
Hold on. No. I never present that in my video. At least I'm not. I don't think I do. I think like there's a question about like communication breakdown, but it's more around the fact of these are the DMs. This is what's being handed through to Sunday. these DMs are spreading through like general conversation and everything else. So I don't see how I misreported anything. I think there are things that I
probably should have just reached out, right? Because you're to actually understand like the full concept there.
Well, I mean, again, I'm agreeing with you that like I should have reached out to more people.
I don't think your video was. I feel like we should just fucking share our interview because I think we have these conversations in it.
Yeah, we do. I mean, I think, as I say, I DM'd you. I don't hate your video or anything, Willy. I think it's fine. I think it's.
No,
I'm getting questions back because there's only like short snippets of it, right?
Yeah, I think there's only like maybe like 2 or 3 minutes shown, and it was essentially about why didn't you reach out, which is obviously
which is
you should.
Which is obviously a fair question. I think there are like reasons, as like Kuihman pointed out, like. It's a question of like what gets back to Destiny. I listen, I said this publicly, and I say it in this. If Sunday wasn't coming out with a video, I wouldn't have done it in the same way, but I would have absolutely done something with this. This is a story that is breaking. It is already being discussed. These DMs are going to come out in one way, form, or another.
I think there's a way to talk about it. That's fine. I did not like how Sunday went about it, and I didn't like that you never attempted to reach out, instead reached out to Nick and Diesel, who know way less than you two. That doesn't make any sense.
Sure. Well, I mean, I wanted an optics check from Diesel. I mean, again,
but you're getting an optics check from 2 people that don't know fucking anything.
Well, sure, but I mean, okay. On the other side, if you had something like this, you knew a story was coming out, you reached out to Pixie or Lonerbox, and they said, well, you know. Oh, this is really bad. Let me go and talk to Erudite. Let me go and talk to Destiny. Let me go and talk to this person. And you know that is going to like fuck the story. What would you do?
I'm sorry. There's so many people DMing me. I feel like from this Discord. Can you repeat that, dude? I'm getting so many beeps.
Yeah, you're fine. So let me like, let's say you're in my position. And you're like, this story's about to go public. It's going to be a fucking shit show. There's already a load of misinformation. You reach out to Pixie and Lonerbox, and their first response is,
WillyMac.
we're going to go to Destiny, we're going to go to Erudite, we're going to go to this person, this person, this person. And we're going to, like, let's say that's...
Well, what would you... No, let's be real. If you were to reach out to Pixie, you would be upfront and say, hey, I have, like, this is how I do it when I reach out to people and how I reached out to Pixie. These are my list of questions. Would you be okay talking about that? Or if you just want to send messages, we can. And then what is on and off the record? That's all you would say. And then you could get direct answers right there. Like, hey, I see messages that look like you extorting Destiny. Are these threats? Do you ever ask Destiny directly for money? You know, just be stuff like that.
Okay, but if on, like, again, I'm not
stop people from messaging me.
If you right-click the server and just press like mute server.
Well, this mutes the server, but people are DMing me from it.
Oh, I don't know how to stop people DMing you.
This is so terrible.
I mean, if like, again, because I don't disagree on the reaching out, but my direct question is, what if you reach out and then they say, like, even off the basic questions, and they go, I'm going to Destiny. Like, what's your response then?
What does I'm going to Destiny mean?
I'm gonna like
mean anything.
Well, like if you're like, well, I don't know if that's true. If you've got something like this and you know that they're going to reach out to the person who is known for like narrative control as their like primary thing that they do in dramas, like, would you then panic and go, fuck it, I just have to release?
If they said they're going to Destiny, why would that make me panic? I would be like, why going to Destiny for what? Isn't he the one that leaked everything? I'd be so fucking confused.
Would you not have any concern that if you tip off Destiny, it's going to give him a chance to prepare a response, potentially fabricate evidence, like any sort of interference that could happen? Do you see any weight to that idea?
Point, I would think Pixie and Destiny are fucking enemies, right? Or they don't like each other at the moment. So I'd be very weird if they work
is that
together.
The case? Is that really what you pick up from like the messages and shit?
Well, she is fucking taking him to court, so yeah.
Well, she wasn't taking him to court just yet at that point, was she? It was in negotiations.
She was literally writing up draft statements.
Wait. No, this is like a misnomer that's being like there's a confusion happening here. I agree, she had a statement ready to go, but she was still in negotiations, right? The idea that she had decided to sue, that's not really the case. There was still a negotiation going on. It was breaking down a little bit, but there was a negotiation.
Went down between Destiny and Pixie. There's no negotiation.
There's not like a direct negotiation over.
There's no direct conversation about money ever. Between the two.
There's no direct conversation about money.
Destiny says that in his statement. That did not happen.
Wait, sorry. Was the comment about bills or anything? Was that not?
Yeah. He said you can reach out to me. I can help.
He said you can reach out to me about paying for bills.
Yeah, so that wasn't a direct conversation about money. There was a negotiation was happening there, and Erudite was also acting.
Negotiation.
Sorry, maybe you're using. I'm using negotiation maybe a different way to you. I'm saying that there was a conversation happening where they were trying to come to a resolution, and that was happening both with Destiny directly, where he was offering money through the Bill's comment, and with Erudite, they were trying to come to a solution. When I say negotiation, I'm saying they're all trying to come to a solution.
Yeah, but if the Erudite messages end with Kayla saying, yeah, I don't feel comfortable if you want to make this about money, asking Destiny about this stuff.
Yeah,
but that's part of the negotiation process, isn't it? Like again, like
how is this all somehow negotiations?
Like,
because
not so erudite is the middle ground between Destiny and Pixie. That's the position she
interpretation is just she's figuring out what she wants to do. That's it. Yeah, it's just her talking about what she might want to do.
That is negotiation. She is negotiating with them to see what
negotiation because she's not determining like, all right, you're offering this. Well, now I want to do this. Like, it's not one of those conversations.
But that's negotiation isn't such a strict term as it only applies to offers and counter offers.
So it only means just her talking about her options.
Her talking about her options with the other side of the potential deal or case, right? It's about trying to find a solution to the situation.
That conversation immediately ends with Kyla. Like, I have all of her text messages.
Yeah, I'm not disputing that conversation ends, but the point is that there was a negotiation happening there. It wasn't that she had decided to sue and was going to sue. It was exploring the options and seeing what it was. However, the reason we got onto this was because you presented it as like she had decided to sue. She was going to sue. They were enemies at this point. That's not the case.
Well, you didn't know if she wasn't going to sue. No. President Sunday determines that they aren't going to sue.
Yeah, I know. President Sunday's the video is fucking retarded. I totally agree. It's
okay, but I feel like it's weird because you're like taking my argument and pretending Sundays doesn't exist, and well, that completely invalidates my argument. I would never make it then. Because the whole point is I'm responding to Sunday. It's so stupid. Do you get where I'm coming from? You're taking away the person I'm talking to.
What? Your argument
as if that doesn't exist. You're taking out the context.
No,
of what I'm saying.
Contesting specific things you're saying, and then you're defaulting back to, well, Sunday's video sucks. And I agree, Sunday's video sucks. I'm taking issues of specific positions you're holding.
You're contesting what I'm saying, but ignoring the context being that I'm replying to Sunday.
Okay, you're saying that Sunday, you were claiming that Sunday knew that Sunday and Beckett knew that Pixie and Destiny were enemies, so there was no reason to be concerned about reaching out to Pixie. That was where we came from here. That's not true.
Well, no, I'm confused on why we're assuming, though, that she's going to write, I'm going to Destiny, and then that suddenly changes anything. I don't understand.
The reason we got here was I asked you.
We made up a fake scenario about what might happen, and now we've like we're like treading this imaginary land. It doesn't make sense to me.
I was asking you, do you not think there's any weight to the idea that you don't want to tip off the other party when you're releasing a story like this, if you think they're going to be aggressive in how they attempt to control the narrative around it? Do you think there is a consideration to be made there about not tipping off the potential perpetrator?
I think it's irresponsible to even come out with this fucking story about Pixie's intentions without talking to Pixie. I think you shouldn't even make the video.
Okay.
It is absolutely retarded to make this video.
Okay, if your position is just, regardless of this, is it the video as a whole, or is it the speculation on Pixie taking the deal and all this stuff, the second part?
So you got right. So I think the video as a whole, if you just want to talk about, hey, these messages leaked, and I think if you want to do like a very vague video of like these messages leaked and there's no way this was all consensual, that's fine. You could speculate on that.
I agree. Yeah, it sounds like I'm like 90% of the way there with you on that.
But it's like when you're well, I know. So the whole point of my video is, well, we aren't talking about that. We're talking about people that took it farther.
Yeah, but you don't just respond. You're not just making statements on that further part. You're like making broad statements of, oh, never release videos. You always have to speak to the victim first. It's like I'm trying to contest. I'm trying to figure out what your positions are here, so that we can actually figure out how much I agree with you and how much you disagree. Because your ideas don't come through in the video, Willie. I'm going to be real. Like whatever your position on this is,
bro. The only way is if you don't pay attention, because I'm very clear.
Okay, well you can think you're very clear. I don't think you're very clear. I don't think you're very clear at all. But whatever.
Everything I've said to you, I've said in the video, so I don't know.
Okay, you can think.
Okay, so I guess like if that's the standard, if I'm just releasing an uneditorialized video, I mean we can talk about reaching out and everything else, but there can be criticisms. That's fine, but I don't think in that video I'm sat there being like, Pixie is a fucking monster. We need to destroy her. Like I'm like, this is what has happened behind those DMs. I know you're like, well, this is from a secondary source because it's from Straight Raid.
You only have secondhand information.
Yeah,
right?
but this is. But hold on. But I don't know how fair that is because Straight Raid is not just some random secondary source. She's also not somebody who's just saying something randomly. She's somebody who's clearly has the evidence to back up what she's saying. Yes.
Yeah, but why is she leaking it to you, bro, or to Sunday? That should be a fucking red flag there, right?
Well, I think it is. I think it is a question. I think it is a question to ask.
And you don't look for the answer? That's insane.
Well, hold on. I don't know that. I don't know if that's fair because like there's an after point there where like sure we can look into like their.
I mean, you literally agreed with me on this, so I find it odd.
No, I don't. Hold on. I think even with our conversation, I talk about Straight Raid in a very different way because I don't think it's just Straight Raid as a random person going, oh, I heard a rumor.
No, you say she has bad intentions.
Well, yeah,
based on off the record stuff.
Yeah, I do think that, but also like that's something that comes clear later. And again, like,
well, I know that's exactly more reason why you should try and get more context around that.
Sure,
like,
but
I'm asking for like really basic research, and you guys act like it's so hard. That's fucking crazy. I'm not asking for anything. Like the bar is not high. The bar is very low.
Hold on. I'm not disagreeing with you that there are issues in the video. My disagreement is the fact that
with that. The bar is on the floor. Do you disagree with that? The bar is basically just, oh, this seems weird that this is leaking to Sunday. I don't really have the full context of all this. I'm getting this all secondhand, third hand really from Sunday. I should just go ask about this real quick.
Okay, sorry. I think one thing's going to help here is
Sunday. Let him figure it out, bro.
I understand Sunday's video has.
And why are you coming in? Let him.
Okay,
I'm talking to Beckett.
Sure, go for it.
So
the bar is on the floor. Do you agree with that? I mean, that is like such a simple thing. I'm not asking for anything that's that hard.
No, I don't disagree with you that they're like
what are we talking about?
Because the question I have for you about my video is the fact of like the clear intention of the video is an uneditorialized piece of how these DMs spread and like the conversations that happen behind the scenes. I think actually with the conversation Straight Raid is having with Sunday behind the scenes, part of it makes sense why she is going to Sunday because the early intention seems to be, hey, Sunday, I'm working with Pixie. What do you think of these statements? Can you help? Because Straight Raid knows that Sunday hates Pixie. It becomes more convoluted when more information comes out.
If someone doesn't ask when Sunday far HP machine is going to implode.
Well, I mean, again, like it becomes more convoluted when we find out that Straight Raid is also having conversations with Destiny.
All right, if it's more convoluted, let's go to the primary source and just ask.
But then how do you... okay. Like, again, I don't disagree with reaching out.
You're making every excuse. You're making like every excuse.
I don't
disagree, but you are like literally.
No. What I'm fighting you on is I don't think I presented misinformation.
Yeah, that was what I was kind of to ask. Is what was the claim in Beckett's video? I understand Sunday has a bunch of erroneous claims in his video. What was the claim in Beckett's video that you think needed extra context from Pixie?
I would have to rewatch Beckett's video. If I called your video misinformation in mine, and I didn't show any clips, then that's my bad. But you should, I don't think I did that, by the way. You should absolutely, all I'm saying is
you just said it in this call.
Oh, did I? Yeah, then I don't know. I need to rewatch your video like right now if I'm going to find it. But I thought
Willy is such a
I thought it was something around you having the leaked document.
Yeah, but the leaked document is something that was presented. by straight raid. And again, turns out to be fairly accurate. The only thing that seems to be wrong with it is Dan's inclusion with it. And that's, to be clear, is not like a misrepresentation. That's what's in the document.
And don't you talk about her extorting extortion too?
No, I say that I note it as the most expensive, like Pixie says, I want this to be the most expensive.
And you agreed with it, right?
I don't think I editorialize on that. I'd have to check, but I think I just go, well, that's the statement.
Like, my understanding is Beckett's video essentially just presented the materials. Basically just read it and said, like, here's the chain of events, here's what happened, and that's it.
Criticism of Beckett's video is very much the same as I presented in my video. I think you have secondhand information. You should just reach out to get a full grasp on the story. Because obviously everything we just talked about with Aaron and all this shit is fucking weird. And you just get basic questions answered. And the idea that Pixie goes ahead and might like hit up Destiny for whatever reason, like, I don't know, whatever reason you guys are afraid of, and just add that to your video. You reached out for a statement. This is what she said.
This is sort of why I was trying to drill down with you a minute ago, because now it seems like your position is that to release any of this stuff, to run any of this story, you have to reach out to the victim, whereas before it seemed like only for that speculation part.
If you have limited information, I do think you should reach out, obviously, in this case. Now, I don't know like what Hassan's coverage necessarily was. I didn't watch it. Or I know like fucking what's his face? Bad Empanada said a bunch of stuff that wasn't even true. What was the question?
Well, a moment ago, it seemed like you were saying that you only had to reach out for that speculation part, but now it seems like you're saying that you have to reach out for any of it. So I'm just wondering, like, what was in Beckett's video that you think required comment? Is it just the idea that there's this straight raid side plot where we don't know what her intentions are, or what?
I think when you're going ahead and you're looking at the DMs, that's implying like extortion, or you're going ahead and you have like this like video or this document that's coming out.
Just call the video bad and move along instead of crying about the morals/ethics of journalism.
Because as I'm talking to Beckett, right? I mean, you say this in the time like, oh, this is confusing, this is all convoluted, this is so weird. Well, you can straighten all of that out.
I think part of the, okay.
I mean, all these things that you're worried about, you can just straighten out in like 2 seconds.
I think that
and all it takes is not being lazy. That's all it takes.
No, I don't think laziness is a factor, and I also don't think it's like, because again, I reach out quite a lot to people. I think
you reached out to Nick, and you reached out to fucking the most irrelevant
not just this
Diesel
situation. Generally speaking, I reach out to people quite a lot, and like the issue isn't laziness. The issue is, I don't know what anyone's fucking intentions are in any of this. Like, if I reach out to Erudite...
Why not go find out? Isn't that more interesting?
Possibly. And again, there was a time factor here with this. If I'd had these DMs...
don't say this, bro.
No, hold on. There is a time factor with this.
So stupid.
That's how I felt at the time. I still think
you're too busy to ask about the main character in the story. Then don't cover the story. That is insane.
Yeah, what's this claim of a time factor? I don't understand there being a time factor. I understand there being sort of like a pressure that if there isn't a half-decent collection of what exactly the narrative is here, then it's going to be someone retarded like Bad Empanada who runs it and says that it was a cuck story. I understand that sort of complaint, but why is there a time limit on you doing this?
Because I guess the fear is that what was going to happen is what happens in things like the Bo Black's dress story, where you've got something that's spread particularly far. Most people are going to just like pull a trigger at some point, or something will accidentally get said on a stream. And I cannot stress this enough.
Who the fuck cares?
Well, hold on.
That's on that person then. I mean, this is so stupid. This is like insane levels of cope that you can't talk to the main person, the main character of the story, because someone might say something on a stream, but you got a time to talk to Diesel and Nick, who know nothing. Like, it's so dumb, dude. Don't dig yourself down this hole. Like, don't waste your time with that. That's a dumb point. You know that's dumb.
Oh, well, again, I'm not disagreeing with the reach and everything else. Like, no, hold on. No, because I've said to you in this call, and I'm not fighting you on putting it in, that I regret not reaching out to people.
But you're giving excuses. You're excusing yourself. This is what you're doing right now.
Well, okay, hold on. This is always my problem with the whole kind of like, I didn't want to over-explain things because it sounds like excuses. I can give my rationale. We can say that parts of that rationale are bad, or like it's a mistake, and I can try and own those mistakes. But you're asking me what my intentions were at the time and why I took the actions I did. I'm not saying that those are like perfect actions, Willy. I'm saying I'm agreeing with you that there are issues, but they also weren't made like I just sort of flippantly or was lazy about it. That's I disagree with your rationale there.
It makes no sense, and you have not given one good reason why that makes any sense.
Look,
and I think that should just be it. It should just be like, yeah, no, that was stupid, and that should just be the end of the conversation.
Okay, well,
I don't get why he's saying any of this other shit. Like, it's just makes no sense to me.
Okay, well, like again, I don't want to fight with you, man. Like I
mean, it's no, dude. It's fucking YouTube. We're all gonna be log off this call and it'll be fine, right? But I just don't. I don't get what you're doing on any level here with what you're saying. It doesn't make any sense. I don't think it's worth doing, and I think it makes you look bad.
Again, all I can do is sort of own releasing the video, defend the fact that I don't think it's misinformation, and like improve as I go forward.
Well, can you? All right, it's not misinformation.
Okay,
it's not.
So,
Let's say that.
Did you guys? Do you think you guys are a sort of stopping point there? Is there any other points?
Yeah, I think we've covered this in our own call already. So, like,
well, I mean, it's good to get it on my stream anyway. I'm not exactly.
I'm surprised though that we're like
Willy, I don't know how. Like, if you're pressed for time or if you just don't want to do it, it's totally fine.
No, I'm all good.
JSTLK wanted to just come on and ask questions, I think. I don't know if you were okay
sure,
with that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Pop him in.
JSTLK, if you want to jump on, if you're still watching, I'll message him.
Sure. And as I say, I like the video. I think the video is fine. I'm obviously just going to get questions about it because of what's included.
Hello.
Of course you will. JSTLK.
What's up?
So you had,
how's it going?
You had some smoke for Willy?
Yeah, what you got?
Smoke? I don't know about smoke. I just think I don't particularly like the idea that you can air Destiny's statement without looking into any of it when he is explicitly like when he has a reputation for denigrating his victims. I think one that you go into, if I'm not mistaken, how he sort of crazy makes his victims in a lot of cases. I think you talk about the Anna stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, like,
he does it with Melina, he does it with everyone.
Monumental stream tonight,
yeah, well, I think Kelly Jean absolutely has like, kind of some reason to be upset that she would just print his stuff, because I think the thing that upsets her is she hangs out in DGG adjacent spaces, and people still take Destiny's opinion seriously in some of those spaces. And so you air that statement, and people will take that as fact. And I think there probably should be some kind of correction there to be like...
I aired Destiny's statement. I don't know if it's true or not. I think I even say, like, at least I imply I don't know who Kelly Jean is. I don't know if it's true.
Sure, but I would say if you don't know that it's true,
publishing that is true. I have to read his statement because I reached out to him, and that's the statement he gives. If other people want to go ahead and disprove it, and hey, this is where Destiny's lying, then go do that.
I think probably it's incumbent on you, in my opinion. Okay, it would be like incumbent on you for if he wants to make those allegations on other people, he probably has to prove those to you, right? Before you.
I now have to go investigate this Destiny Kelly Jean nude story where she says no, that's not true.
I think probably you'd have to say, Destiny, you have to give me proof of that if I'm going to republish that, right?
No, because I think it's fun to have him like on there giving his washed opinion. Because if it comes out that it's all like fake, that's just funnier then, right? I mean, it lands on him.
Well, I mean, the Kelly thing is fake. Like he totally made that up to slander her.
Yeah, but do you actually? How would you actually know that? What if he comes out and it isn't true, or there is truth to that? I'm not going to tie myself to a position on that because I don't know.
So you don't have to tie yourself to a position. I was just telling you that you should ask him for proof. Probably if he's going to make those allegations, you'd say, "Oh, well, do you have proof of that?" Right?
Okay. So is this your hard statement? This has been disproven.
Yeah, well, I think that one's been disproven, the Kelly Jean part. I don't know about the last part.
I disagree just in the sense that, because I'm going to have times where I reach out to people, and if they go on an unhinged rant, I'm going to post
Do you
that.
prove a negative?
Wow.
How do you prove a negative, you fucking retard? Oh, give me evidence that it doesn't happen. Then shut up.
Yeah, well, I would just wonder why you felt compelled to... I would wonder why somebody...
Well, why I felt compelled to is
proof
obvious.
in your video. Can I... Well... Hold on. You have proof that they lie about people, especially people who are critical of them, right, in the video, and then you felt compelled to republish his entire statement in full. And I would just think that probably would be good
that's his statement.
Question some of those things or ask for him to prove some of those things.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't want to go on a Kelly Jean arc. That's essentially all it is. I didn't want to go down another rabbit hole.
No, it's not a Kelly. It's literally not a Kelly Jean arc. It would be a like, hey Destiny, if I want to print that or if I want to show that, I need proof of that from you, right?
Okay.
I think that's pretty reasonable. Isn't it?
Even then,
I mean,
even if it's not
I want to print it, so I would have printed it anyway. But it would have been better if I said, "Do you have proof of that?" And then if he goes, "No," then I could run that.
Or like just having, or just
that
like
would be better. That would make the video
even just
better.
in the video noting the fact that he's throwing out these allegations against other people, that you don't know if they're true or not.
Well,
like making some sort of clear note.
Yeah, I don't know if it's true.
Yeah. I just think it wasn't quite clear
so-
in the video. It's sort of repeated as though it could just be true. It's just like any old statement. But I feel like if there's a specific serious allegation there, maybe it's a good idea, especially when we're talking about like ethics and running narratives about people and all this stuff. I think it's probably a good idea in that video to just say, I'm not sure about this allegation. I've got no grounding for this allegation.
Yeah, obviously. And then like extending from that, I think I talked to you a little bit, and from what we talked about, I basically said he's making things up entirely, like whole cloth, making things up about me and my Discord, like in his DGG chat. So I think you had a good reason to believe that he is just making things up.
Well, I don't know whether I can believe you or not. I don't know anything about you.
Sure, but you didn't look any further into it. You just said thanks for letting me know.
No, because I got well, I guess, but I don't want to make a JSTLK
You don't think that's an important
either.
part of the Destiny? You don't think that's an important part of the Destiny video, including all the things he said about
lying about
his
you?
victims
No,
or people supporting his victims? No, there's a huge part of this video that could have been him like denigrating his victims, right? No, I mean like, did you include him talking shit about Cherry and leaking DMs with Cherry? While saying, but by the way, while telling you, so you just took his word for it that he's under litigation, so he can't answer any questions, but he did take time out of his day to leak DMs with Cherry to try to shit on her.
I didn't know he did leak DMs with Cherry.
Chat. Sure.
What the fuck is it? His public chat's that one that reads down to up, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm just saying that you kind of took his word for a lot of things and didn't really dig
Where
deeper
did
on
I
them.
take? I don't understand how I took his word from him. All I did was read his statement. I don't know if it's true.
He couldn't comment because of litigation, right? But he's been commenting despite litigation many times.
If he doesn't comment to me because of litigation, I mean, what do I? I'm just reading his. I'm reading his statement. What do you mean?
I think that would be like
do you think he's lying about illegal teams? No, I don't think that's interesting. People do that all the time. Everyone who gets into legal shit does that, where they go, I can't comment because of litigation, and then they leak some shit where they shouldn't. That happens all the time, bro.
Okay. You don't think that's like relevant to the video?
I don't think that's that major of a point. Like I talk all through the video. There's times where he's talking when he shouldn't, and I play it.
Okay. I would just think that if you're, I feel like this feels like an adjacent argument to the Sunday one, where there's like some hypocrisy going on here, and
I understand that there's hypocrisy because one is Sunday one. I don't care about the victims. I care about getting it right and just doing the bare minimum. All right, he didn't do the bare minimum.
Nice.
I don't think Beckett did the bare minimum to a degree. Beckett's was not as bad, to be clear. It was not Sunday level slander. Okay. But Sunday just
I don't care about
fabricated
Sunday and
information.
Beckett at all.
Okay, well, that's what the video is
I'm just saying it
about.
feels like an adjacent argument where like you kind of just let this guy propagate like the things he wanted and didn't question them. And I feel like if you question them, that's like a good part of the video you could add. There's probably like
I agree. It would have made the
7
video
minutes
better.
of runtime that would have been good.
Well, I wasn't going to go down a 7-minute rabbit hole. I just would have said, can you provide evidence for that? And if he says no, then I would add that to the video. That would be it.
Sure.
The video is already 40 minutes long. I could make the video infinitely big on Destiny. Destiny's a huge character with a ton of lore and all these stupid fucking little side characters, right? I got to end it at some point, dude.
Sure. But I think, did you spend more time on Sunday and Beckett or Destiny in this video? Because it felt like it was
Destiny is
maybe
more time on
Destiny. It's more time on Destiny. It is, yeah.
Destiny is 20 minutes of the video.
So,
one, it doesn't matter. It's my video. I can do whatever the fuck I want with it. But
you totally can.
Of the video
I'm asking.
2/3 of the video is about Destiny.
Okay.
I don't get what that. I don't even know what that would change, but. Because one part of the video is about here's a victim, and then the second part of the video is about here's how people that cover this poorly can get in the way of the victim. That's what the video is.
Okay. I would just imagine if you wanted to cover it from that way, then probably the people getting in the primary person getting in the way of the victim with the biggest platform is Destiny, right? And then you didn't include
because
any
the
of that
victim.
stuff.
How is Destiny getting in the way of the victim?
He's directing harassment at people, right?
He's directing direct harassment at Pixie?
For Cherry.
Cherry.
Okay, well, I reached out to Cherry.
That feels like a critical narrative.
I reached out to Cherry to get information, and Cherry wouldn't give me any. So guess what?
Hold on. But there are a ton of people around Cherry who could have given you information. Me specifically,
I don't know who the fucking people are.
It's all like public. I don't know you know Cherry. Wait. It's all like public.
I mean, this is ridiculous.
Right, it's
also, just so you know, yeah,
don't know these characters
from Cherry have public statements from Cherry on her Twitter around this timeline would have given you a solid hint of him harassing people and directing harassment at people.
I did look at Cherry's Twitter, and I did use some of her tweets. It's just hard for me to tell. Like, she shows a clip of Dan talking like pretty vaguely, and then like she shows a clip of like your stream, but it's like I don't really know the context of what's going on, you know?
I mean, I'm sure it's not too hard to figure out the context. That sounds
what
quite
can I do
lazy
if I reach out to Cherry and she doesn't give me anything? I feel at the end of the time, that's a dead end at that point.
Well, you've all the content. It's like public events.
All it takes is being not lazy. It was something you said earlier today, Willy.
Dude, but
all it takes is not being lazy.
All it takes is not being lazy when reaching out to the victim, who's the main character. I did reach out. She told me.
Okay, but it's not
litigation,
just,
right?
Yeah, it's not just reaching out to the victim.
Okay,
Surely
but
you should research the public events too, right?
Still got statements from Pixie's side. I did not get statements from Cherry. How are we not acknowledging that what I'm saying is just obviously makes so much sense?
I think you didn't include the parts where Cherry is saying that he is harassing her publicly, and she tells you explicitly, apparently.
She didn't tell me explicitly anything.
Go look. What I've posted publicly is all I would have to contribute. So she's basically saying, go, like, if there's anything you want from me, I will post it publicly.
And I did look at her tweets. Publicly. All right, link me her tweet right now. That's the big thing with all the information.
I don't know if there's like an archival tweet for this, but there were tweets about it, right?
Wait, you can't look at more than one tweet.
Where is it?
Like,
you can't
do the bare minimum. Look at more than one tweet, Willy.
Can I find it?
I looked at a bunch. I looked at a ton of her tweets. Kuihman, you are such an instigator.
Well, yeah, well, of course I am. But there is a point here that I think you're hand-wringing about how lazy other people are.
You're
talking about private information, saying doing due diligence on private information, asking people for comment privately when you haven't looked even all the public information.
Dude, I reached out to Cherry privately because publicly,
and she directed you towards the public content.
Didn't provide enough. She didn't direct me to anything specifically. She just said what I said publicly is it.
Said go look at it.
That's all she said to me.
Yeah. So there's the one about me targeting me.
Play this right now, dude. Let's see it. What is the big bombshell in these?
Oh, the bigger bombshell is him leaking a whole bunch of stuff about Cherry, but it seems like she didn't actually go tweet about it. I did, though.
Bro, what the fuck are we talking about then? I got to keep up with JSTLK for the drama? I mean, this is absurd, guys.
Wait, hold on. So Cherry tweeted this.
Can you stop talking for 1 second?
Just to be no. I just want to make my point.
I'm not allowed to talk when I get on here with streamers.
You've gotten on Beckett for being lazy. And then Cherry tweets this about Destiny harassing me, and I've never been reached out to by you about this. And the thing you did reach out to me to, I basically said Destiny's making that up entirely, ask him for proof, and you didn't do either of those things. You didn't reach out to me about this, you didn't reach out, or you didn't actually
reached out to you about
any
Hannah.
further on the stuff that so that whole Hannah thing, where he made up like a whole bunch of shit about how I was messaging her or something, you didn't look into that at all?
I kind of forget because this was a long time ago. I might have just dropped it because I just thought it was too big of a rabbit hole and I didn't understand it. So I don't go with stories. I don't fully understand. I don't go promote stories. I don't fully get.
I actually messaged you on the 30th of January and said he defamed my Discord and is trying to threaten potential witnesses / victims in it. It's actually disgusting. Pointed his audience to KF where the docs of 2 of my Discord users are. By the way, in that same thread of the docs that he pointed people to, he actually points people to the revenge porn videos.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
And then I link you logs. Okay. Well, I mean, I told you about him pointing at the docs of 2 people who are in my Discord, right?
Okay. I don't know.
But
let me just see.
Just said, LOL, what? And then I follow up, and then you... I need to look at... Yeah. Basically, like, I tell you this is happening, and then you don't... Like, you could have just asked me for anything
trying to threaten potential witnesses and victims. Yeah, I think I just didn't want to go down this fucking rabbit hole, because I'm reading all these fucking things, and I'm like, I'm just sticking to the main story here. You know, if I go
think
and do
that's a part of the main story?
If I go and do a second Destiny video, then maybe I would go ahead and dive into all this. Yeah, there's a time where I need to cut off the video. I can't research shit forever. I can't know every side character. The standard I had for
perpetrator is actively threatening victims.
How come this guy just gets to infinitely talk?
Yeah, wait, let WillyMac
go ahead. This is fucking insane. The standard for
ahead.
Beckett is you keep saying go ahead and you don't let me go ahead. The standard for Beckett here is
shut up.
You guys are fucking failing me at this point, man. The standard for Beckett is to just reach out for Pixie about conversations she has. And the standard for me is I need to go down the JSTLK drama rabbit hole and get into his personal drama with his fucking moderators and Destiny doxing them, apparently. This is retarded.
So, no.
You understand that's not the same. And now you're going to fucking go on a huge 10-minute rant, bro. No, begin.
Or do you want to keep going?
Go begin. Go do it.
You reached out to me to ask about Destiny comments, and I gave you all of the stuff you needed to ask anything clarifying from that point.
And I didn't want to go down this rabbit hole. Yes. I narrowed the side of the video. That's okay.
So you're calling it a rabbit hole. You're calling a rabbit hole to make it absurd, but it is the primary perpetrator of these allegations threatening his victims. Harming the victims, and you said that's why you wanted to go into Sunday because he was harming the victims.
I'm allowed to cut the scope. Sunday slandered the victim. He made up stuff. I'm allowed to cut the scope of the video to keep it more narrow and more straightforward and less random. I'm allowed to do that.
You're allowed to do that. I'm just arguing that this is far more in scope of a Destiny video than just going after Sunday.
So do you go and complain to every single person that makes a Destiny video and doesn't talk about your fucking corner of this shit? I mean, it's retarded, man. Come on. No, just me. You just do that to me.
I'm literally pointing out that you asked me for a comment on some stuff, and I gave you stuff that would obviously be juicy and very important to your video.
It wasn't important to my video because I narrowed the scope because I did not want to go down this rabbit hole. That's it.
Okay.
If I make a second video, maybe I will. All right. There's always stuff left over when you're researching videos where you're like, I don't know about this.
Sure there is.
I'm not confident in this, and you cut shit. Like that's as simple as it is, man. Any personal edit I need to make for JSTLK? Any others?
No, you didn't do anything bad to me in this video, but I would say you platformed like an allegation against Kelly with like basically not saying, I don't know what she said precisely. I think I watched it, but I can't recall off the top of my head.
He said that Kelly and Lave or Lav was sharing nudes of him.
Yes, which is
or like trading them or something. Yeah, then that's funny. Then that's for a second video. That would be something I'd use. But all I did was repeat his statement. I didn't place it as fact. All it is here's his statement after I reached out.
Okay.
And I do agree. It would be a better video. It would be a better video if I pressed him on that. I agree with you.
It would be a better video in that case. And I just think probably if you have somebody who is going to if you have somebody who's going to lie about their victims, going to like try to denigrate them or defame them, then probably it's incumbent on you to say, he provided no proof for these things or something along those lines, right? In my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously didn't provide any fucking proof, dude. The video's about how he's lying, but I agree. I think it's worth saying that. Sure. I'll take that.
Sure.
But I don't understand how that's anywhere on the same level as me criticizing Beckett.
What? I don't know. I wasn't saying it was on the same level. If you wanted to make a video criticizing Beckett and Sunday and that was your primary goal, then
well, it wasn't my primary goal. The primary goal was to make a video where here's a victim and then here's what happens when people cover it without actually trying to do any sort of real due diligence.
Okay.
That's all the video is.
It's like a meta commentary. Got it.
It's not a meta commentary. It's pretty simple, man. It's a part 1 and 2.
All right. There's a part 2 coming? What's the part 2?
Part 2 is the
there's 2 parts of the video, is what it means, dude.
Oh, okay.
There might be a part 2. I don't know. I gotta look into more shit. I haven't decided what my next one's on. All right, is that it, lads, or do we got anything else?
I've not got anything else. I don't know if anyone else did.
No, I don't think so.
No, I'm pretty much.
Was Kelly done yet?
Pretty much.
I think I should ask that.
Yeah, I would love to talk to fucking Kelly if she's got anything to say that isn't just.
Well, I think she DM'd you.
Mad. Maybe I got a lot of DMs here. I mean, look. Kelly Jean.
Sorry,
Send me a
purple
tweet.
pastry. You wanted to get in. What did you have something to say here? Something to add?
Oh, I just wanted to tell WillyMac. I mean, I just feel like he should probably know that.
Are you trolling? Is this a troll?
arguing
What are you trolling right now?
Literally bad face. Well, I mean, you could argue it's a troll, but I'm really trying to get it.
Why would you not let him talk?
Because he said that you could argue it's a troll, so I'm not. I don't want to know where that ends. Okay. So.
My bad. My audio cut out. I didn't hear him say that. Just for instance, just for reference, I never made a Discord with Lav. I was never in Lav's Discord. I don't know who was. Who is Lav? Does this name keep getting brought up?
Lav is one of the former Destiny girls, and there was a big drama as part of the.
Did Kelly Jean and Lav and all these people have sex with Destiny?
Kelly Jean didn't. She's actually very hurt by rumors of that. Makes a big stand on not fucking Destiny.
She doesn't seem mad at me in these tweets. I don't know why she was so mad at me on here. I never made a Discord or shared around sex tips, and I have no clue why I made this up. I mean, that's fucking that's a big deal if that's true. Come on, don't call me a donkey, dude.
If you're rude to me, I'll be rude back.
All right, I'll stop being rude to you, Kelly.
Uh-huh. What do you want?
I mean, I don't know what I want. I'm just seeing what you're writing on Twitter now. Is there anything you want to say? Besides, is it literally just you can't prove a negative?
You said you wanted to talk to me. I had a clip.
No, I was thinking later if I could actually look into some stuff and ask some people stuff.
Why didn't you do this first? I don't. Also, how can you not
Because
know
my
who fucking
video's not
Lav
about
is?
you.
How do you not? No, I know it's not about me, you twat. Nobody said that at any
You don't
point.
seem to know that, bro. You keep getting mad at me.
everybody else is very aware what the video is about. Okay, you are apparently not aware about all of the side characters that you're including in your video for reasons that they don't even need to be there.
I really didn't include you at all.
If you don't know who Lav is, why read that out? You don't know who I am, apparently.
Because it was his statement. That's why I reached up for his statement. That's what he said.
And you don't know that Justico is friends with Cherry. You don't seem to know a lot, but you felt educated enough to make a video.
I also thought Lauren Southern was accusing Destiny of recording sex or something, which I thought was funny. Although that's a different podcast.
Oh, that was on yeah, I didn't realize it was a different Lauren. There's so many of you guys.
Wow,
it's fucking insane.
Fucking research. Read out Kiwi forms.
Well, I mean, does it fucking change anything?
Yes, it does. I mean, do you want inaccuracies in your video?
Destiny had a victim lie
no, I don't. But what inaccuracies in my video, Kelly?
To ruin their
We've already pointed them out.
And when working
no, it's
together.
like just a fucking point that Destiny made, which I'm wasn't even co-signing, Kelly. You're just like mad at me.
If you're not critical, if you're not critical of something when you're reading it out, and then you decide to add in your
my video going, I'm not critical of Destiny,
and then you read out your opinion statement, which is crazy women, then yeah, obviously I'm gonna be pissed.
I mean, I think
also,
the point
you sit
was
there and pretend like you don't care, you don't know who any of these people are. I'm just like, well, don't speak then.
The point of the statement is, if all of these women that Destiny claims are crazy are actually crazy, well, dude, at what point is that on him? Let's say they all are crazy and they're all like bipolar or whatever the fuck the rumor is from Mr. Girl, right? Dude, that Destiny is still a fucking psycho for that. That makes him even more psycho if these girls are all actually crazy. So he's either lying or he's literally like targeting BPD girls.
Or simply being around him makes people unstable. But the point is, there was no need to
don't admit that, Kelly. Fucking
no, there's no need. Also, craziness is like not the word you should be using either. That's just and there was no need to say it there. Because
craziness
that's being if you're calling the women crazy, you're being dismissive of them.
I'm saying even if they are crazy, that says more about Destiny than it does about
No, because like you're still calling them crazy. That's still incredibly insulting to them. Hello?
Kelly, I don't care if you're insulted, Kelly.
Brilliant. Well, then I don't care that you get insulted if I come in and scream at you.
Well, you're like nitpicking me, and I just have to draw a line at some point where it's like this criticism I don't think is valid.
Your video is a bunch of condescending nitpicking.
Nitpicking what?
Nitpicking Sunday, nitpicking Beckett.
You think it's like, nitpicking Sunday when he literally makes up what is said? I didn't make up anything.
Except you don't even know who half of the people involved are.
It's not even necessary, honestly.
It's not necessary. Well, I think if you're going to be like hypercritical of other people, you probably shouldn't have like so many negatives in like the same arena. It's just like you just
fact
look like
that you think it is the same, Kelly, is fucking crazy. You should not be saying that because it's so obviously not. Everybody agreed that it's not.
I'm sorry.
You're the only one that thinks it's all the same.
The same means you're making the same mistakes, not about the same thing.
Dude, nobody thinks it's the same mistake, Kelly.
It has to be because you're doing the same thing, just in something that you think is more insignificant.
Do you
That's
think
your reasoning.
I am Destiny?
That part of the video is insignificant, therefore I don't care.
Wait,
but you're still making the same
one is Destiny making the claim, the other one is Sunday making the claim. I did not make the claim.
I don't like. What claim are you talking about now? You're just yapping.
Well, what you were complaining to me.
Sunday
oh my God,
made
I feel
the
like
claim
we
of
had this conversation. Is this even worth talking about again?
Yeah, so Kelly, all he's saying is that Sunday made the allegation of extortion. Sunday said Pixie is extorting Destiny. Whereas in the case of Willy simply showed Destiny saying that you
what Destiny said. That's it. That's all it is.
He's got all kinds of criticism for Sunday and no criticism for Destiny on that front.
Well,
right?
Sunday made it up. I didn't make up anything.
I think Willy would say he's got criticism.
Because of Destiny making something up, which you've now admitted you feel like Destiny has made something up.
I didn't know if Destiny made that up or not. I had no idea. I did know Sunday made that up. That's it. That's as simple as that. I mean, again, it's really.
We're gonna circle it.
Yeah, we're already looping, but this is so obvious.
This is looping. This is looping.
President Sunday, yeah, he put in his own narrative to his video, right? You read out the narrative of somebody else without being critical of it at all, and then added your opinion afterwards.
I didn't add my opinion.
It's not any better. Yes, you did. Because you called the women crazy. That was your opinion.
I'm saying even if they all are crazy, that has to do with. I'm saying even if they are crazy, that says more about Destiny. That's all I meant.
You said.
What did I say?
You want a direct quote? It's like when literally after you speak about me and Lav, you say crazy women, and then you say.
What did I say specifically about crazy women?
But that's but that assumes that we are crazy.
I'm saying even if they are crazy, that says more about Destiny.
Why?
That's the point.
You didn't say even if they are for me.
Well, I didn't, but that's what I'm saying.
The statement that directly follows after it does not say that. Or I wouldn't be irritated.
All right. Let's just see what I said, because see what I said.
I'm looking for it now.
Are you streaming it? Because we can't see.
Yeah, he's streaming it.
I'll put it on our Discord. Right, confronting Destiny. It's this section, right? So, whereabouts it happened? Let's just look.
Crazy conspiratorial nonsense. I assume he's talking about Mr. Girl's document where he lists every girl who has ever had a problem that are foreseen and unforeseen to me right now. And there's a possibility that I say something that feels true, but ends up not being true in the future. He then gives an example on how seemingly throwaway comments can lead to big consequences in court. He's right, because honestly, what is he supposed to do? Incriminate himself? He's going to let the legal process play out. So I asked Destiny if there was any false narratives being pushed, and if there was anything he wanted me to say that wasn't already public. He replied with people validating prior individuals who are insane, despite there being no evidence to validate them, is crazy conspiratorial nonsense. I assume he's talking about Mr. Girl's document where he lists the most insane assumptions about a man, and have no problem engaging with people who are insanely toxic when it comes to male victims of any kind of weird sexual shit. He defended himself a bit more on Twitter against Nick, saying no expectation for Kiwi Farms being the crazy women are part of this guy's life. At what point can I victim?
What do you know about Mr. Girl?
Because you caused all this. There is no expectation for Kiwi Farms being the good guy. They have the leaks because you shared them with Rose.
Mr. Girl said he was going to fuck like a 11-year-olds.
Okay, but how could you possibly know about Mr. Girl and not Lav?
Everyone knows about
Mr. Girl. Fact check on that.
Mr. Girl was like a big viral character.
Mr. Girl didn't say he wanted to. He didn't say he wanted to fuck 11-year-olds. Okay, he said he was attracted to. Yeah.
Have been distributing his nudes, revenge porn in the literal truest sense. How many crazy women are in this guy's life? At what point can I victim blame him? Ryan Beard's telling a story about how some girl named Anna is stalking you, and your solution was to
go back to the first sentence. He just says these crazy.
He says, yeah, I know. I've damaged her severely. Nobody cares about you being the victim because you caused all of this. There is no expectation for Kiwi Farms being the good guy. They have the leaks because you shared them with Rose. He goes on to say that people named Lob and Kelly Jean have been distributing his nudes, revenge porn in the literal truest sense. How many crazy women are part of this guy's life? At what point can I victim blame him?
Yes. How many crazy women are part of this guy's life? Brilliant. Thank you.
At what point can
he
I
said
victim blame
insane
him?
before that as well.
I guess you got me. Fuck, I thought I did say something different. That must have been at a different part of the video. Well, Kelly, I'm sorry I assumed you were crazy.
Is that why you called me crazy like 15 minutes ago?
Well, I think you are kind of crazy, but I was wrong.
Based on the fact that I'm entertaining and think you're a retard.
You are entertaining.
I feel like, hold on, if you felt like somebody was making up something totally baseless about you, like a sex criminal, and then other YouTubers were like pushing that claim for them, wouldn't you get upset? I feel like that's like the definition of being, you push the claim, you literally called the women he hangs out with insane, and you repeated it without even questioning it. So I'm saying that seems like something reasonable to get annoyed about.
Or none of these women, none of these women Destiny's had problems with being crazy. I didn't accuse you of doing this, Kelly. You're
no,
now,
I said Destiny is accusing me of a crime.
Yeah, he's accusing you of this. Yeah, I agree. That is bad. But I don't know enough about you to go defend you. So I'd have to.
You have me added on Discord. You have me added on Twitter. You could have sent me a message. Be like, hey, Kelly, I got this thing. Want to make a comment?
I think that would have been worth doing. I agree. But again, I wasn't putting that out there as like a true story. It was just what he's saying. I figured no matter what, you would comment after this. I don't think the takeaway from people is that, oh, that's actually true. He is going ahead and doing all this shit. Or if it is, then that's on him. You know?
Okay,
I think. Okay, you're aware this is his narrative that he wants to go with, right? And this is a narrative that's in response to the narratives that he's mad about. Okay, so like,
welcome to Kelly Jean Live, guys.
What narratives are lies about you, and then he gives a lie. Yeah,
dude, that's like a huge deal if that's true. I agree.
Yes, so it looks awful. And not being critical of it, or even just putting these. I haven't looked into this. Or
notice how Willy is willing to take an L on Sunday and Beckett refused to.
He wants spread about.
How?
Because not everyone has critical thinking skills. A lot of people just sit there, watch a video, and assume whatever the fuck is in it is accurate.
I mean, I don't think that. Okay, let's just move on because we've circled this like 3 times. Is all the girls Destiny has talked about, is that all lies, like that they're crazy? There's not one that, is there any that are like, is Mr. Girl's article like totally correct?
What is the purpose of this question?
Yeah, well, someone might be crazy
Is Mr. Girl's article accurate? Because he doesn't cite anything in it, so I couldn't actually like use it as like
part of the article is very accurate from what I've seen.
What do you define as crazy? Are you asking if any of the women have done anything as bad as he has done? The answer is no.
Well, when he writes off that they're all like BPD, is that true?
It doesn't. It's like, well, I mean, whether it's true or not, it doesn't actually matter to the allegations. Like he will call them BPD,
fucking interesting, though.
but it's like a smear, right? It doesn't actually. They might be crazy, but I mean that doesn't mean they're not victims, right?
No, it doesn't. But if every single girl, like if most of them do have BPD, that's kind of fucking odd.
Sure.
That's like a crazy fucking thing.
All the ones that come on stream seem to have something kind of weird going on. But I mean, again, it's hard to make the argument for targeting.
Kelly, do you have BPD?
Kelly's got autism. Okay, Kelly has autism. Kelly's much worse. But
severe.
Kelly, are you the girl eating popcorn in JSTLK stream?
I love how 2 hours of intense 5v5 arguing imploded into I'm sorry I called you crazy, but you do be crazy though.
Why is that your
I think, by the way, just so you know, most of the women aren't like diagnosed BPD. There's like a couple, but like most of them are not diagnosed BPD or something. It's just like a.
Are they self-diagnosed or what?
But this is the line of attack,
they could be
right?
Self-diagnosed or something.
This is the line of attack that's happened every time. Like Destiny's had a drama involving women. The women are crazy. And that's the primary thing that's focused on. It's what's focused on with Lav. It was what's focused on with Anavoir. It's been focused on with his ex-partners. It's so much so that it's become sort of a joke in the community. I think Erudite even said, "Oh, he's terrible with selecting women," kind of thing. But actually, like, you look at the state of this.
I mean, he says that about himself, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, but I think that's like, I think that's a critical point, because the way Destiny's deflected so much of probably rightful criticism for the way he's handled his relationships, especially in public, is like, oh, they're crazy. So, you know, of course they're going to say shit about me. And like, one of my core issues is always, well, with this, has been watching people basically run the same gambit of trying to do that. To deflect. It's one of the things that made me so fucking angry as I learned more about this story, because, you know, this isn't the first rodeo. It made me question like how I viewed this stuff previously, whether I've been like complicit, even in like a fucking tiny way, of dismissing victim stories when I really shouldn't have been. And I'm not even a fucking Destiny fan.
Like, I think all you need to know about Destiny and like crazy making people is to watch him argue with Merc off the perk about her allegation that he had like tried to make a move one night when they were sleeping together in the same bed. But you have to go watch that and him call her insane repeatedly. Yeah, it's
How are you guys all
sure,
these
more characters,
inbred, dude? It's fucking insane. This community is. You guys are. Do you guys?
I don't know why
excuse
you
me?
why are you? I don't know why you would take this. Dude, this guy like recorded people against it. Why would you take this line? You're like literally discrediting people who are trying to tell.
No. I mean, inbred. That's not.
You
an
understand?
insult.
You're like
I mean,
the tool of him right now, right? When you do that.
By inbred, I mean
you didn't mean inbred as an insult.
I mean inbred as in you all spawn from this Destiny community. Are all of you guys tied to DGG?
I mean, in some way that we might have watched Destiny.
For like
are you tied to DGG?
What?
No, I wasn't. I didn't come from that.
I've never been to Destiny's house, bro.
Yeah.
I've never been to a studio.
We ain't been
come
in
from
Destiny's
this community. Like we were
Diddy parties.
amoebas and we just like spawned out of DGG. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah. Did you do you guys all know each other from that essentially?
No, I
No,
came out
not
of
really.
church.
Just
Beckett came out of.
Okay.
Yeah, I came out of the politics grouping, but like I've never had like a strong connection to Destiny or DGG or anything else. I know JSTLK through Chud's community. I think it's the first time I've ever spoken to Kelly.
Yeah, Chud
like,
is one of the first people that I did the panels and stuff with when Zerko was doing them.
You guys can all like try to play 6 degrees of separation. I don't care. What relevance would this have if we came from Destiny's community?
I'm just answering the question. Yeah, like I'm just answering the question. But like, clearly covering Destiny drama is, I mean, Destiny isn't an unknown factor, right? The first time I saw Destiny was him arguing with Tonkasaur back in like what, 2016, 2017? So like it's not like he's some unknown factor. He's interacted and crossed over with multiple communities over the years. It is just that the reach is really far. So story and the people he's interacted with are going to have quite a lot of overlap. That's just the reality.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm just wondering how everybody here knows all these characters so like this well.
Pepsi, you had something to add. Okay, I'm giving you a chance. You said you're not trolling. Let's hear it.
I just wanted to say that I feel sorry for you, WillyMac, that this is like the sort of way that he has learned this information. It's like these are the worst people you can learn it from. I mean, JSTLK's only doing this to cover his own
Why
ass.
are they the worst?
Because they're doing it like for the most conceited ways. They're doing it like to cover their own ass. They're doing it because they want to like seem high and mighty. I mean, there are actually good ways that you could have like handled this. I think you should talk to President Sunday. I mean, these like losers. They're not really going to give you any helpful information.
President Sunday's a fucking idiot, bro. That guy's one of the dumbest people that covered this thing.
That's the other thing. That's the reason that you're never actually going to grow and learn as a person. So you're willing to listen to retards, bad faith retards like JSTLK. But like Sunday, who's literally trying to save women, you just think of him, oh, he's just crazy. He's just crazy. Because he leaked your DMs.
Do you have any disagreements with the points I made?
Your points? Yeah, obviously I do.
JSTLK is immediately so combative to this guy just fucking trolling, bro.
I'm giving you content, I'm talking to Willy, okay? Listen, Willy.
Go ahead.
You should talk to
Give me any disagreement.
Talk to a brain-dead moral like JSTLK.
So loud,
the DSP of the Destiny community. He's still a Destiny Orbiter, by the way, to be clear. The DSP of the Destiny Orbiter. You'll talk to him about Sunday, an intellectual, someone actually reads books, someone actually does research, not him. You talk to the fucking clown show JSTLK for some reason. I mean, obviously, like, Beckett and Kelly Jean, they're alright. But it just makes sense. So I'm serious. Like, he didn't do anything wrong, okay? But whatever. I mean,
what do you mean he didn't do anything wrong? He made up an entire angle. The one thing everyone in this call agrees with is that he's a fucking idiot.
I'm telling you to grow up, man. I'm telling you to grow up. Just because he lied to you in DMs, who cares? It's like fucking. It's like it's a fucking backstage bullshit. All right. It's like you're mad at somebody like said to a backstage bouncer.
It's not. It's not just about him lying. It's not just about him lying in DMs. He said that he wouldn't come out with the video because the top priority was making. If he did, he was worried that Pixie would kill herself. Right?
Yeah, he said that.
And then he said that doesn't matter anymore because
How important is it to you that women don't get raped?
I can't do this where everybody just starts talking over me after they answer a question.
There's a delay because I'm from Europe. I should clarify. Look at this fucking loser doing soundboard bullshit. Muting you. What a fucking brain dead moron this guy is. Remember, he's key jangling. That's all he does.
Please, just get rid of him.
Okay, Pepsi. Yeah, Pepsi has your chance.
Oh my god.
All right.
Dude, this is live streaming. It's the most spurgy shit ever, dude. This shit's insane.
Yeah, it's kind of just a circus now. I agree.
Yeah.
JSTLK, bro, you talk over people immediately so combatively. It's like you just
that guy's not a human being.
Triggered so fast. You do it to everyone.
I'm saying that guy is like subhuman. Why would we take him seriously?
He's from Malta. Just because he's from Malta, that's crazy.
That's pure racism. Just not pure racism.
Okay. Oh, I think we're wrapping up here. I think we're hitting a stopping point.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else, guys. I agree with I take the criticism on the when he says that I should have asked for something because it just is something that would objectively make the video better. So I agree with that.
Okay, one last caller, Kenny. What do you want to say? You're not gonna join and just be silent, are you, bro? You're gonna.
No. I have a question. Like, can we stop with like the victim is like owed something? I think once people knew that Destiny leaked Pixies knew, they should have just made videos about it.
You don't think? But what if she's trying to take stuff legally? Everybody just.
I agree that with her, but I don't think the point is to help the victim in a case. It's the point to notify people that Destiny's doing this stuff. I think the victim's obliged to have a good case.
Come out either way. It would just
but I think the earlier you notify people, the better. I don't think we owe her to get like this solid case on Destiny.
There's literally no difference of whether it comes out now or a month later.
Well, people would stop interacting with them earlier. To other women in that time frame, right? In theory, if you were.
Yeah.
I guess, but then they could just join the lawsuit and get a fucking bag, dude. Then, right?
No, well, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, well, that's not really a good argument, is it? Like, I mean, just
that's
let
what
them
I'm saying. Just because you're victimized, you're not owed a good case. You're not owed money because you're victimized. The reason why we're going after Destiny to notify.
That's why civil court exists, by the way. So yeah, it is. That's part of it.
Yeah, but I'm not civil court. That's my problem. I'm not civil court. I think why people were releasing these videos to get at Destiny to like stop his crusade against women or whatever he did, like him abusing women.
And I think there is probably an angle where you could make a video on this subject without, like, you could say fuck the court case, I don't care. I still think you should probably reach out so you actually know what you're talking about. That's it. That's all I am on it. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I agree with that too. But
okay. It's like, all right, yeah, he could victimize more women. He could share more nudes or whatever. It's like, he could. Like, I get you. I just think getting in the way of a court case is just a fucking huge L and totally unnecessary. I think it's probably worth like trying to figure out what's going on there first.
Well, I think we all agree with that final point, so I think we'll wrap it up here, if that's good with everyone. No one else has got anything burning to get off their chest.
No. That's it.
Okay. Well, guys, thank you for coming on. Hugely appreciate giving me the content, and I'll catch you all later.
Callie, I might reach out to get a statement of you saying it's all a fucking lie. If I look into that. Okay?
Okay, Kelly, you can be a bit nicer than that.
Don't sound so enthusiastic, Kelly.
Kelly, has any man in your life ever said you should smile more? Has anyone ever told you that?
Yeah, killed them.
Okay. All right, guys, thanks for coming on.
Right,
I'll catch you later.
Cheers. Peace.
Okay. Okay. Well, that was great. That was really great stuff, guys.